Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another episode of the PreMarket Playbook. If you're ready to make some money on Friday, smash that like button. I'm your host today, Kevin Dubrisky, covering for the one and only Ryan. And today, guys, we're going to have a fantastic trading session. We're going to go over some SPY, QQQ. We do have some major economic data coming up with core PCE, but make sure you stick around because PreMarket Playbook starts right now. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, traders. Drop a good morning in the chat if you're excited and ready to make some money with me today. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Brent, Cam, Derkis. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Cam, good morning. Glass half full. Good morning. I like the name. And as for your question of pharma longs today, I'm glad you asked because we've got an article covering what's going on in the pharmaceutical sector because there is a big news going on. Guys, good morning, Brent, Cam, Brian, Buffalo Bicycle. What's going on, man? Cam, what's up? Good morning. I hope you guys are excited. We'll go over some technical analysis. Corey, good morning. Good to see all of you as well. Yes, sir. Whoop, whoop. I hope you guys are excited. We're going to end the Friday strong. I don't know about you guys. So I personally trade futures, which I won't even mention that again because I know this isn't that type of wheelhouse, but we've been killing it this week. Whether you trade SPY or ES, QQQ or NQ, GC, which is gold futures, or GLD, the price action is all the same, right? So if I was going long on ES, that would be like SPY calls. Guys, good morning, 3D. Good morning, Kevin, Bernard, Paulo. Guys, good morning, everybody. What a full house. I'm excited to have you all here today. Let's bring up the morning update and see what the market has in store for us, and then we'll hit some articles and see exactly what's moving markets overnight. So for our economic data, I mentioned before that we do have core PCE coming in at 8:30. Now, this is a major economic event, and markets, along with the Fed, are going to be watching it closely because this could help give us some insight going forward to see if we're going to have an additional rate cut or not. Yo, good morning, Hoot. Good morning, Richard, Robert. Good morning, everybody. So core PCE 8:30, that's our major mover. Now, futures are up a little bit overnight, coming off of a 3-day bearish stint on the ES, the S&P 500 SPY, and the QQQ. So getting a little bit of a pullback, that doesn't necessarily mean we're in a bear market, right? People see a red day, then they see a second red day, and then they see a third red day, and they think markets are over. Guys, it's not the case at all. If we pulled up our SPY chart, we'd be able to see that, okay, here on the 15-minute time frame, sure, we created higher highs. Now we're creating lower high, a lower high. But as day traders, we have to remember to not be so focused on a lower time frame. The whole saying of when in doubt, zoom out. That isn't just a saying, it's real. Go on a higher time frame. Zoom out on your chart. Go on even an hourly, guys, to see, okay, well, I thought I was bearish, but now looking at even just the past month of price action, we're clearly making higher highs. This was simply a pullback. So guys, great stuff there. Me personally, I do like to see if the SPY could hold above 656. There's a pretty strong area of support. This is where we had the first rate cut of the year. That's when Powell announced, okay, we had FOMC, 25 BPS, and it gave us a quick move to the downside, but then price was able to hold itself again. Now, a lot of times when we have those crazy moves from data, we create what I call a data high and a data low. Now, a lot of times markets need to come to both of those levels in order to grab the liquidity that was created once we had that big impactful event. So I would like to see possibly if the SPY wants to make one more dip towards 654.30, because we also have to remember psychologically, if we break that level to the downside, and we'll get our drawing tool up on here too, we'll favorite that. So let's say we're pushing lower highs, lower lows. If we break this low right here, there's going to be a lot of traders, more so retail traders, who are too zoomed in to say, oh, okay, we're still going short. I'm going to sell it here on the breakdown, right? We never want to sell a breakdown. We'd much rather wait for it to truly break, close somewhere over here, and retest the area of support and use it as resistance. If you start taking every breakdown, what can happen is markets will reverse at these breakdowns. So I want to keep an eye on that as a key level. That's also now lining up right with previous day's low, which is at 654.40. So these are some major areas of support. Hopefully with S&P 500, we could get a bit of a bearish move at the market open. Now, because we have core PC at 830, right now the SPY is looking to open around 658.75. Core PC comes out, we know that markets could react. This thing could gap up $3, it could gap down $4 or $5, it could do whatever it wants. So at this point, this is what I'm looking for. Yes, sir, you're seeing great question. Good morning and hello. So let's hit some articles. You guys have fantastic questions this morning about what's going on in the big pharmaceutical, Oracle, and Costco. So first off, guys, like I mentioned before, markets have been ticking higher overnight from Thursday going into this Friday after a 3-day pullback. Yes, sir, what's up, Oz? Good morning, man. So the market remains fairly calm ahead of several major economic data points set to be released on Friday, including the core PCE. That's the one we're going to be keeping an eye on. Now, if core PCE comes in lower than expected, we can be expecting a bullish reaction. If it comes in higher than expected, we could possibly be expecting a bearish reaction. So meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.183%, and the 2-year bond is at 3.659%. The CME Group FedWatch tool projections show markets pricing in an 87.8% likelihood of another rate cut in October. So guys, that's a pretty big percent, 87.8%. Benzinga, thank you for dropping that. That is my Instagram. If you guys want to follow that at Trading with Kev, I post market analysis information every single day. 30-second clips going over everything you need to know that's going on in the economy. Because guys, guess what? As day traders, it's important to be able to trade price action. It's important to be able to have a strategy and a system we follow. But if we don't know what's going on in the back end, if we don't know the geopolitical or even the fundamentals of what's moving the stock or company, well, then we might get left in the dust. It might sell off on us, reverse on us. What's up, you seen? Loves the hair. I appreciate that, man. I got to keep it looking fresh for Benzinga. So Trump's new tariff barrage targets drugs, trucks, and cabinets. That's right, not cabinets like the government cabinets. We're talking about cabinets in your kitchen. The president says the move will protect manufacturing from unfair outside competition. So President Trump announced a barrage of new tariffs on Thursday aimed at pharmaceutical. So somebody mentioned in the comments before, what's going on with pharmaceuticals? Are we going long at the open? So aimed at pharmaceuticals, heavy trucks, and home furnishing in particular to shore up domestic industry in these sectors, right? So his goal is to bring and to protect American manufacturing from any unfair outside competition, right? His goal with the tariffs originally in the beginning of the year, bring back American manufacturing. Now that's still his goal. So the large-scale flooding of products into the U.S. Hey, good morning, Tyler. Good morning, everybody. The administration announced a 100% tariff on all imported, branded, or patented pharmaceuticals. This is major right there, guys. However, it can be waived for those companies who have already begun constructing manufacturing plants within the U.S. So again, he's forcing companies, right? He's sort of forcing their hand to say, let's get going in the US manufacturing, right? Let's create some jobs, and maybe that will reflect on jobs going forward. We'll have to see. Now, if you guys do come down to the bottom of the article, and we'll have the producer drop it in the comments for you as well, you could scroll down to stock moves in the overnight trade, and this gives you a list of which industry and which stock was moving the most based off of these reports and these new tariffs. So we have PCAR, Picard Trucking, Allison Transmission Trucking, HNI Corp, which is furniture, RH, which is furniture, and then some pharmaceuticals as well. Now, next we have Costco, guys. So again, somebody else mentioned Costco too. This was a beat on earnings with the revenue estimated as comparable sales climb to 5.7%. So Costco, let's see, Costco reported fourth quarter revenue at $86.16 billion, beating analysis estimate of $86.12 billion according to Benzinga Pro. The company reported fourth quarter adjusted earnings of earnings per share, I should say, of $5.87, beating the estimate of $5.87. So Costco is staying strong. However, it did have a bit of a bearish reaction to the earnings and possibly to the earnings call. So net sales for fourth quarter were up 8% year over year. Costco, a huge, great company, a great stock, a great company, and a consistent one at that. Total comparable sales were up 5.7% on a year over year basis. Here's a breakdown of the comparable sales growth by region. So US was up 5.1%, Canada 6.3%, and other international 8.6%. Tesla, what's going on, Billy? Good morning, man. Yeah, if you guys want me to cover some Tesla or any other large cap stocks, definitely drop it in the chat and we'll get going there as well. Let's take a quick look at Costco just to get an idea of how markets are reacting to that earnings. And we see that Costco's range bound. First thing I see when I open the hourly is I see resistance, because my eyes, when I go to the hourly or I'm doing my analysis, instantly goes to the wicks. And I'm going to turn on demonstration here on TradingView, so it's got a red dot over it. But what I look for is I look for areas that rejected. And what I do when I find them is I'll mark them out with the rectangle tool, but then I'll extend that tool to the left side and see if this area of resistance was at some point an area of support. And if that's the case, I'm going to look for that to continue. Now, I also see right here, we had support down here. This was support from Tuesday. It was support again on Thursday, and then it held up as support overnight from that earnings report. So this is sort of the lows of Costco, in my opinion, at this point. We see this was a support area as well. If Costco could fail below 930, might possibly try to make its way towards this 923 area. But I would really like to see Costco remain within this range and possibly trade back above 936 to head towards 950s, right? Right now, if we were trading a range, we'd be buying the lows and selling the highs. But something I like to do too is just to clarify that range on a daily time frame, right? And look at this. Perfect. We see that we have our range high. Mark that out as our high. We have our range low. Mark out our range low. Fantastic. Again, a much more clearer range on Costco now. Lows around 935, so that earnings report brought us right to the low of our range, and we would be able to target above 950. We'd be able to go target 980, right? If we have enough buying pressure here and we see that price is starting to squeeze, and volume starting to pick up, this might be lining up for a real nice move on Costco to the upside. So guys, keep an eye on that. This move is not going to happen overnight. This move is not going to happen in a single day. This is something that would build up, that would really be more for a long-term position on Costco. 930s as a long entry, targeting towards those 980s. NFA, not financial advice. You guys know that, but we drop some of the best information here at Benzinga, so make sure you drop a like and a comment. Oracle stock rises after Trump signs executive order on TikTok. So I'm not sure if any of you have heard about what's going on with the whole TikTok situation. I believe it was January when they started. They were going to ban TikTok because it was owned by China. Then they put a 90-day stay on it till April. Then I believe they put another 90-day stay on it. After all of that's been said and done, here we are. US is about to possibly purchase TikTok. So let's see what's going on. Oracle seems to be a big lead on that. So Oracle shares are moving higher in extended trading on Thursday after President Trump signed an executive order to approve a deal to keep TikTok available in the US. What to know? So Trump has officially signed an executive order to keep TikTok alive in the US, according to CNBC. Chinese President Xi signed off on the deal after initially pushing back. The executive order comes after the U.S. government raised national security concerns about TikTok and forced parent company ByteDance to sell it to U.S. operations or face a ban. Let's see. The report indicates that Oracle will be in charge of TikTok's U.S. security option. So that's good to know, guys. Now, even if you don't use TikTok, we have to understand that these social media platforms play such a huge and crucial role in not the economy itself, but how people, everyday people, perceive the economy and perceive how things are going. So if there was a ban on TikTok or there was a big issue going on, well, things might get a little skeptical. But now that Oracle's stepping in, maybe Oracle provides some support. Thank you, producer. You're a GOAT. Best producer in the game. The company will also provide cloud computing services for TikTok. So they're not only going to be in charge of it, but they're going to be providing the cloud computing services as well. Trump said at the signing of Oracle chairman Larry Ellison, is playing a very big part in the deal, which also includes Rupert Murdoch and Dell Companies, right, which is Dell CEO Michael Dell. It's funny. Dell shares are up about 0.75% in the after hours last time we checked, so it's not the biggest move. 0.75% isn't something like we saw when Nvidia announced 5 billion towards Intel, and Intel jumped 30%. So we got to be careful with that, right? Not the biggest move, probably not something that's going to have momentum, this Dell trade right there. But this is on Oracle, so I do want to take a look and see how Oracle is responding to that. Guys, good morning, guys. Make sure you drop some tickers if you want me to cover anything. We have our Lucky 13 joining us at 9 o'clock today, and we'll go over the market movers. But for now, we will go over these articles and whatever is moving strong overnight. And guys, if you want to see any large cap, if you want to trade some SPY, some QQQ, please let me know. Guys, 13 will be joining us at 9 o'clock today. So here we're taking a look at Oracle. We see year to date, here's 2025, the start. So we could take our measurement tool and see that at some point from our highs, we were up over 107% on Oracle. That is crazy. Now we are up only about 75%. So we would like to see a possible pullback. Now at this point, we had this gap here. We had earnings on Oracle, and it was a double miss. However, we have to know that when earnings come out, it's not just the earnings report, but a lot of times they host an earnings call. And on these earnings calls, the CEO or somebody higher up will come on and say, hey, we're going to do A, B, and C going forward. They give you a little bit of a roadmap or a projection of where the company's headed. If it's strong and investors have a lot of confidence in it, well, then it's going to give us a good reaction like this. If it's not, then we'll have to be sure. Thank you, Yassine. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got some pretty decent charting, if I say so myself. So something I like to do when I see a massive gap like this on a stock is I'll mark out that gap. So we'll go from the gap low, which is the previous day's low before we gapped, to the low of that next day. So now this would be our gap zone. Now, a lot of traders see a gap and they go, oh, as soon as I enter it, I'm going to take a short position because I want to see us take a short and go fill that gap. Stop loss near the high, and I want to see us fill the gap. In my opinion, when we get gaps like this, these areas tend to work more as support. And the reason for that is because these areas did not give price and volume the opportunity to fill. So when price gapped from 241 to all the way 312, nobody was able to buy at 250, 260, 270, 280. So anybody who had passive orders sitting there to go long at those levels, those orders are still active. So when price starts selling into them, they're going to find support and find buying pressure. So I would be careful on trying to trade a gap fill strategy like this, especially because we're in more of a bull market right now. If we were in a bear market and it seemed pretty obvious that we have selling pressure, and if volume was picking up as well, that would be another thing, but it's really not. Well, then sure, go for the short. Gap fill would be great. But at this point on Oracle, I'm really thinking it wants to try to hold some support between 250 to like, honestly, it's a big zone, 250 to 290. So a real tough short position there. And again, that's mainly because of how strong markets have been. So this is the daily chart. We could take a look at the 4-hour or even the 2-hour. Now, something I do like to do, guys, when I'm charting out a stock like Oracle, Apple, anything that doesn't trade overnight, is I like to turn off our extended trading hours because I want to see what's going on during the New York session. How is volume being traded when volume is actually in the market, right? And that gives you great key levels. We see right here, look how great of a key level this worked out on Friday the 12th, worked as a key level again on Thursday the next week, again that Thursday evening, and now here we are, we're trading on it. If this is an area that if we could remain below, we could see if it could hold as resistance, right? So something I would look for is we create these lower highs and then start to create some lower lows, but we'd really need a break below to use that as resistance to go lower, and that would be a trade plan on Oracle. But at this point, with this small break below, this could be our liquidity sweep before we end up having our move and continuation. Remember, trend is our friend. And right now on Oracle, if we're looking at our trend, it has been bullish overall. If we're looking more at a recent trend, it has been consolidating. So it is a bit of a tough point. Guys, any other stocks, please let me know. We could see Oracle. Now let's see what's going on with Boeing. A lot of people were asking this morning, what's going on with Boeing? It had some moves. Well, Boeing announced 2 significant aircraft deals this week, securing new commitments from the Norwegian Group and Turkish Airlines, as both carriers expanded their fleets and improved efficiency. Norwegian confirmed an order for 30 737-8 jets, its first direct purchase from Boeing since 2017. The deal boosts its airline 737 MAX backlog to 30 aircraft, so they boosted it from 50 to 30. That's almost about a 60% gain. And supports its goal of maintaining one of Europe's most modern fleets, right? So they're looking to stay strong in the airline industry, so they're relying on a company like Boeing. We could take a look at Boeing and see how it's reacting. Yo, absolutely, you got it. We could take a look at HIMS. I see you, Nikolai. Absolutely. Let's take a quick look at Boeing. Boeing used to be one of my favorites to trade options on. I'm talking years ago. So here we go. We had a nice, this is two old zones. These are old zones I had on Boeing, and yet look at how reliable they were anyways. Even though they were old zones that I had from 2023, they still acted as resistance when we were below, support when we were above, resistance when we're below, possibly now support when we're above. So it acted as the bottom of our range. And then we had our blue zone too, which acted as the top of our range. So pretty nice here on Boeing. And with that news that we just read from the article, the Benzinga article, I would really want to see Boeing continue, especially because it was able to get back above this range. So check this out. We got above this recent internal range we have here. Good morning, Final. What's going on, man? So this would be our area, right? Our current range on Boeing. And this was our range for about, let's see, since Friday the 12th until the 25th, so about 13 trading days. Now, we finally got our break above with some type of news catalyst. I would, at this point on Boeing, look for a possible retrace to this 218.40 area, and then I would take some long swing positions to see if we want to hold higher. Yeah, no news on NVIDIA this morning. However, they announced $100 billion towards OpenAI. They announced a $100 billion deal into OpenAI to try to get them 10 gigawatts of data, because OpenAI is going to work with Oracle. Got a whole lot going on in the AI infrastructure world right now. Let's see some ticker requests, guys. We could cover NVIDIA, AMD, AVGO, and MU. So let's get started with NVIDIA, one of my favorites. Now, guys, NVIDIA, if you trade SPY or QQQ, you should always be charting NVIDIA and keep an eye on it as well, because NVIDIA weighs in for over 8% of the S&P 500 and more than that on the NASDAQ. So because of that, it has a big impact in terms of trend and direction. So if we see that NVIDIA, which we see here, was at the bottom of a range, started moving higher every time we came into it, well, then if we had a bull bias on ES or NQ every time NVIDIA tried to move higher, if we went chart for chart and put them next to each other, we would probably see the same reactions. Big green day on NVIDIA, big green day on the ES. Basing candle on NVIDIA, look at this, guys, right here. NVIDIA pulled back, hit support, and reversed. That was the same time the ES or S&P 500, the SPY, also pushed lower and then reversed. So they aren't going, NVIDIA is not going to tell you have to go long here. It's not going to tell you have to go short here, but using large cap equities to sort of help gauge direction and trend on the SPY and QQQ is a major advantage and edge that every trader should be using. So now let's check out the 4-hour time frame. And now with NVIDIA, equity like NVIDIA, it's already marked up, right? I've had our range since this is July 25th, guys. July 22nd, July 31st is when we made the high, but it's just been range bound. We made some new all-time highs pretty recently above 185. At this point, what I would like to see on NVIDIA is if we have a lower low off of this low. I'd like to see a higher low, and right here I'd like to see a higher high, and then this high to take out this high right here by just a few cents. This was 184.46. This was 184.55. Literally 9 cents higher to new all-time high, but it still counts as a higher high. So I would like to see if NVIDIA wants to continue this trend, but it's definitely a hard spot right now, because right now I would consider this the middle of nowhere. If we're not at the bottom of a range, which we would buy at the lows, sell at the highs, or in the middle, well, we don't know if we go long here, that's a short position. If we go long here, let's delete that out of there, and put our stop at the low, Well, we don't know that NVIDIA is going to hold this high or low yet. It could come back lower, hit our range, and then reverse, and then we ended up getting stopped out for nothing. So be patient. We could also wait for it to break out of this resistance point and look for a retest too. That's usually what I would look for on a trade setup like this. I would either wait to buy the lows or wait for a break of the highs and have these old highs become new lows. So that's what I'm looking for on NVIDIA, guys. We could take a look at AMD too, is also a big chip and AI company. But it has been a bit of a lagger. This one, though, we covered AMD and NVIDIA in earnings calls and earnings reports here on Benzinga. I was saying AMD was a real nice buy around 110, 111, and here we are now trading. We hit highs of 185, and now we're at 160. So we see this big blue zone. This was that imbalance zone that I mentioned to you guys. So check it out. When we first entered this area, put our replay mode up. When we first, hey, what's going on, C Boogie? Yes, sir, C Boogie Yoogie. We'll cover TSM in just a minute. I got you. So look, when market started trading into this area of an imbalance, because this was our daily imbalance, because we had a gap there from earnings, we came into it, and the first time we came into it, we hit 158, and we rejected back lower to 155. Then 2 more days of consolidation before it spiked higher, broke a previous day high. But then what happened after that? It rejected, and it started to reject the people who tried to buy these highs. I don't know why it's taking a second to load there. There we go. So it pulled back, right? It was finding selling pressure. So it wasn't a smooth trend. A lot of people expect a smooth move when we enter these gaps. Absolutely not. And that's, again, one of the main reasons I do not like to trade them. Let's see. So that is AMD. Greeks and Turks are friends, longtime friends. Good stuff. Love to hear that. Friendship is the most powerful thing in this world. And money, but let's see. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to mark out our support on AMD, and I see that we do have a support area here on the 4-hour where price consolidated, and then we had a strong rally. So here's our lows on AMD. Now we can delete this blue level as well. No longer need it. But what I would like to do is put up a new area right here and have this work as sort of a key level, because even though it worked as resistance when we were below it and support when we were above it, we still had some tough times trading within it. So we could delete this one, we could keep this one, and now we have some key levels on the AMD as well. And this is a 4-hour time frame. So the way I use key levels and areas is, as traders, we always want to trade and be some type of range. Yeah, absolutely. Let me cover HIMS after AMD. I got to remember HIMS, guys. Mr. Producer, if I forget, just slap me through the computer and we'll get HIMS going. But we'll let's see. So one thing on AMD, 4-hour time frame, is same deal, right? We created higher highs. We've been in a bull market, higher highs, higher highs. The past few days, past few sessions, we've been selling off. Tried to make a lower low, but started to stall over here, right? So we found support in this green area of support. With that being said, I'd like to see if we could possibly break and try to hold up higher and go target this pivot over here, 170.97. Let me delete this previous day low. That's another thing I like to do, guys. So right now we're going through a 4-hour time frame, a 1-hour time frame. We're going over key levels. But when we're day trading, we're not trading on a 4-hour and 1 hour. We're trading on a 5-minute and 15-minute. So it's important to find your levels on a higher time frame, but then go to a 30-minute, a 15-minute, and find some intraday price levels as well. That will help you find your setups. So right now, something I note on AMD is, check this out. When we took this high out right here in this resistance point, we rejected on AMD to the downside, about $5, a $5 move right there. Then what happened? The next time we broke that high in that same area of resistance, the same thing happened. We had about a $3 to $4, almost $5 move on AMD to the downside. So what I would like to do here on AMD is look for that. Guys, PCE in 10 seconds, guys. Buckle up, get out of your positions. Let's see how markets want to react. We can pull ES up for just a moment to see how we react, if we react. My ideal reaction would be a bullish one, but we'll see how core PCE wants to come in, and producer, you drop that data for us. All right, let's see. Core PCE. Not really giving us the biggest move right out the gate, so we could see how we want to react. Producer, drop that information, that analysis once it comes in, I will let you guys know. Let's see. It looks like we're getting a drop on gold. I knew that because I got spidey senses. Gold, I was looking for possible longs in the support area. And again, guys, that would be GLD, would be XAU or GC for futures. All right. Oh, wow. It's in line. Guys, if it's in line, not higher, not lower, that's a neutral reaction. It's a neutral reaction. That's sort of exactly what we got. Now, something like the S&P 500, the SPY, we were talking about how not to be bearish just because we had a few days of red, right? Because we've been very bullish, a very strong market. Well, we were bearish the past few days, pulling us into this daily support area, and now we're bullish because we had some economic news backing us up. So that's pretty clean. We'll take a look at that. Me personally, like I said, I wanted to see some gold longs and support. It was a takeaway. At this point, what I'd look for is a break above previous day high, retest of this resistance area, and then I would go long off of that. And we'll keep an eye on that as well. I know futures isn't the wheelhouse here, but we'll just keep an eye. Yes, sir. Let's see. So let's take a look, guys. I told somebody in here that we would look at hymns, and that is one that I definitely want to cover. We'll cover it quick, just to keep an eye, just to take a look. So hymns, in my opinion, hymns is a great buy under 50. At least it was at some point for a while. I even had 50 marked out since we had that big rally for a long time. Hymns sort of the same situation, right? Where we have a range right now. We have bottom of the range right here. So here's our support. We have the top of the range up here. So this would be our resistance. Now this is our range on hymns. We have lows around 42s, highs around 67s. If you buy the lows and sell the highs, you're looking at a 57% return on investment. And that's just strictly from range trading. That's why I find range trading and spotting these support and resistance so important, because a lot of people think that they need to catch, oh, I got to catch this big move in order to make money in the market. Like, yeah, 130%, that's a big move. That's a great return. But if we're looking to be reasonable with the market and we're looking for trade setups that we could probably find day in, day out, well, then trading a range when we know markets range 80% of the time is ideal. If we could buy the lows and sell the highs, that is ideal. Because guess what? You could also play calls on it, right? Let's say you buy calls on hymns and starts running in your direction. That delta is going to go very much in your favor, and you're going to have some nice profits on that. So hymns, I see resistance around 66 to 72 and support around 42 to 40. Other than that, not too much going on hymns. We have key level at 50. We see that every time price is near 50, we consolidate. Look at this. Acted as resistance a few times till we broke it. Then it acted as support. And then same thing over here. Consolidated. Every time price is around 50. So between 53 and 47, hymns is in a no trade zone. 47 to 53 is a no trade zone on hymns. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Guys, Apple, another big one to keep an eye on. Now, Apple is one that I mentioned. I actually put a video out on it with Benzinga. And again, guys, follow us on social media. My Instagram is @tradingwithkev. Post Instagram footage, a 30-second clip every single day, if not twice a day, going over what's moving the markets and economic data that comes out, like core PCE. I'll cover that later today. So something on Apple that I noticed was, let's see, we'll pull up our replay mode. And I want to bring us back to the earnings from, this is July 30th. Now, the reason I'm bringing us back here is because at this point in the market, we had a crazy pullback. Like this was April lows. This is when Trump announced, hey, we're doing a stay on tariffs on all countries except for China. Markets gave us a crazy move to the upside. And since then, at this point, the S&P 500 was at all-time highs, and a lot of other equities were too. Meta, Microsoft, they were pushing higher, while Apple was still over 23% from all-time high. So saying, guys, Apple is lagging right now. And if we looked at Tesla at this point too, it was also lagging. So that could have been a great stock or chart to keep an eye on. Kevin, your monitor is very dark. We don't see. Oh, you got to see something. I'll zoom in on the candles a bit. Or let's see. You guys want me to lighten up the chart a little bit? We could do that. Let's see. No, gross. All right, that's a little better. Is that any better? You guys let me know. Your your accent's very Long Island. I'm glad the accent's right. Any New Yorkers, drop where you're from in the comments. I'm curious to see where in the world we have the best audience of Benzinga from. I'm over here in Long Island, New York. Fantastic place to be. Wherever you are is great too. So guys, look at this. Same thing, right? We had resistance. These are just key levels on Apple. These key levels work everywhere on any stock, right? You just have to be patient for them. Look at this. It was resistance. We broke it. Then it was support. No way we got a bunch of Long Island people in here. That is crazy. Texas, Kevin, much better. All right. Oregon. All right. There we go. London, nice. All right. All around the world. Love to see it. Mississippi, beautiful, guys. Florida, South Carolina, Nebraska, Midtown Long Island, far end, Atlanta. Nice, guys. Awesome. It's real sweet. Look at that. Love that LIRR. I don't know about love it, but it gets the job done. Yeah, Buffalo by Bicycle, I think I know where you're from. Guys, don't forget, hit that like button if you're having fun today. Real great trading session. We'll make sure we can make some money too. It is 8:36, so we still have time for 13 to join us at 9. So real interesting stuff. If you guys have any tickers you want me to take care of, drop it in the chat and I will cover them. Oracle's running up on a future projection. Yeah, we saw that line on Oracle this morning. BSX, we could just take a look at BSX. Queens, nice. Guys, we're gonna have to do a meet and greet at some point. Tennis, man, I'm in Suffolk, but that's as far information-wise as you guys are getting. You're born in Seaford? Hey, that's cool, man. That's cool. All right, guys, let's take a look at, what do we say? BSX, DMX. Let's see. BSX is Boston Scientific Corporation. So we can start on our daily time frame, just like we always do, just to get an idea of direction, get an idea of how it's been trading this year. Let's see. So we see that over the past few years, at least, we have been getting some continuation. It's been trending higher. The stock from 2024 went up as high as 96%. That's cool, guys. That's cool. All right, let's see. So let's mark out our support and resistance. Same thing here, though. Look at this, April lows. And this stock also was able to run to all-time highs off of those April lows for a 25% gain. Nice, guys. Good stuff. So let's mark out our support and resistance. We have some resistance up here. Now this resistance, I'm going to drag it down a little bit. And the reason I want to drag it down a little bit is so it hits this wick as well. Because I like to count these major wicks as highs and lows. And that does count as support because the more touches we have, the more resistance we have at that point. We have a resistance level here, almost here, 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 and here. So that is 5 rejections on BSX to the downside. So with that being said, now we could start marking out, let's delete some of these bubbles, mark out some pivot highs, pivot lows, mark out this pivot here, mark out this pivot all the way down here from these April lows. Now, something I would say is we're near key psychological level 100. Now, I call it a key psychological level because it is a psychological level. 100 even is considered a psych level. And what's a psych level? Yo, Stock Juice, that's pretty funny, man. We're like close. Guys, follow me on social media. Instagram is at Trading with Kev. Maybe we'll all meet up one day. We'll do a Benzinga meet and greet, do a live trading session in person. That'd be pretty dope, guys. So here's some resistance on BSX around 107 to 109. Support-wise is definitely a tough point. So here we go. Look at this. We have an earnings gap. That's what we were looking for before on other stocks. So let's go from our close to that next day's low and check it out. When we enter that gap, people who tried to take a short position thinking we're going to fill the gap go, oh, I'm going to go short here because we're going to fill the gap. They instantly got stopped out the next day. Literally practically right away. With that being said, we swept that low. And every time, look at this, guys. We tried to enter this gap. And not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, guys. 8 times BSX has found buyers in this 96 to 97 area. This looks really great on BSX to hold up. But pre-market, it's looking at 98.44 right now. I'd like to see if it could hold above that 98.44 and possibly trade back within that range. Again, talking about range trading, we'd be able to buy the lows, sell the highs. look for about a $9 move there, about an 8% return, almost 9% return. And if it is in a bull trend, which we do see, it's making higher highs, and it was trying to make some higher lows. It just swept lows. So because we just swept lows, we do have the opportunity to at least run to the top of the range, which is why I always target the top of the range versus going to a new all-time high, because we never know if we're going to start creating a lower high at that point. So what you would do then is you would take some positions down here to go long, possibly scale out of maybe 70, 80% of your position here, move stops to either break even or above break even on the last 20% of your contracts, and let the rest run, because then you're buying the lows, getting out at the highs, but letting your winner run in case we do want a trend. Great strategy, great way to position yourself in the market. Guys, we got some more requests coming up. Make sure you drop any tickers you want to see. Let's see. Open, RR, Spot, MU. Let's see. MSTR. MSTR is a big one. MicroStrategy. Hey, thank you, Cam. I appreciate that. Absolutely, guys. My pleasure. Guys, do you like my chart a little lighter like this? In my opinion, it looks like my chart's blowing smoke to the downside. All right, let's find our support and resistance, right? So MSTR, I've had this resistance point since November 22nd of 2024, almost a full year now. This area has been working as resistance, and we rejected it countless times. 1, 2, 3. A lot of times there. Tried to break the highs there and reject it again. And now we're trying to create some lower highs. Let's see. So we created higher highs, lower high, trying to create off of these lows a lower low. Now look at the selling pressure we're finding on MSTR right now. Now this could have a lot to do with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin also had a bit of a bearish reaction this past few days. Let's see, I think Bitcoin, Coinbase. Absolutely, guys. Let's see. And guys, don't forget to, Yassine mentioned and producer mentioned app Piper Sandler maintains overweight on app love and raises target price to 740. So what is that? App APP. I just want to cover this real quick, and then we'll be able to come back to MSTR and Bitcoin. But when prices and companies have, oh, that's funny. We must have covered this. Oh, wow. A long time ago. That's interesting. So something like app, you see big volume spike right here. We'd want to see if there's any news. We know that there's news. The producer was nice enough to put it in there for us. So if it has a target of 740, you don't need to buy the stock. A lot of times big companies like this, big stocks, they'll have options. Get it? They have options, like options. All right, but so let's see APP and see if app is one that does have options. And if that's the case, you would then be able to buy something else. You'd be able to buy an options contract that's possibly cheaper. Let's see how they are a bit more expensive. All right, in this case, they are not cheaper. In some cases, they do tend to be cheaper. Like let's say you wanted a couple weeks out. Sometimes it's a bit cheaper in the price. Right now, they are more expensive. It'd almost be like buying two of them for the price. Well, it'd be like buying two of them, period. But with options, you do get a better ROI if price moves in your favor. Just something to keep an eye on there. This is app. This one has great momentum behind it. This is a clear bull chart. There is no shorting a chart like this. When it looks like we're just skyrocketing like this, guys, this is a huge green flag to say no shorts. We're not going to try to short this just because it looks bearish. No way. This thing has been bullish. It had volume supporting it, like a lot of volume stepped in right there. Let's see, volume. Massive increase in volume, like a 4 or 5x on volume on this day. So I'd look to see if it wants to hold support on app. Let's bring up MSTR one more time, find those key levels, moving with Bitcoin for sure. Yeah, absolutely, Ryan, agreed. So because of that, I would still want to find support. I wouldn't want to be somebody that sees all of the selling pressure and goes, oh, we're going to continue. No way, guys. Trade the trend. Trend is our friend. Yes, we're pulling back right now, but markets only go up. I'm just kidding. Please know that I'm just kidding. So with that being said, though, MSTR is a strong company. It's not going anywhere. Whenever I think of a company that's strong, it's got good foundation, Nvidia, Apple, MSTR, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD. Guys, these companies are not going anywhere anytime soon. So when we get good selling pressure on them, all the market's doing is giving us a good buying opportunity. So instead of buying the highs up here and taking a hit for 35% against your account, well, be patient for that pullback and then enter at the lows. And guess what? When you enter near lows, you're able to have a much better return on investment than trying to target those highs. Okay, okay, man, I like it. Yeah, Bido too. Bido is another one that's selling off due to that Bitcoin pulling back. I would like to see if MSTR would be able to pull back towards this 280 area and hold support. Right now on the daily time frame here, we had a big sell candle right here on the break. Now, usually we line up volume. Now, what I'd like to see is no volume on a sell-off, because that tells me that volume's not moving with price, or price isn't moving with volume. In this case, volume did start to pick up, but we don't know if this is buying volume or selling volume. But we do know for every buyer, there's a seller. So a lot of volume coming into the market might signal a possible reversal soon. So again, that's something I would be keeping an eye on MSTR. I do think it's giving us a great long-term position right here. Guys, make sure you hit that like button if you learned something today, or if you went over some prices and levels you guys want to look at as well. Let's see. We also have Spot. We have SOUN. We have Open. Is Open? Let's see. Open Door, dude. That one has been on one. I've seen a lot of people posting about this one. And I know you guys love to trade it here on Benzinga too. But I'm sure once we find the movers, guys, and 13 joins us in about 15 minutes, we'll be able to find some movers and find some key levels. We'll use our volume profile intraday. Guys, we're gonna find some good trades today. I guarantee it. Trading with Kev does not look like you. So guys, X is trade with Kev. Instagram is trading with Kev. I will say I'm a lot more active on Instagram than I am on X, but I do try to post there as well. But that is trade with Kev, and Instagram is trading with Kev. I know, I got to get something that's both. RR going up, no news. Let's take a look at RR. Sounds like a risk to reward to me. CMC, Andrew saying CMC. We'll take a look at that. Taji saying he's from Philadelphia. A little late on the question of where's everybody from, but I love to see it as well. Guys, make sure you run that like button up. Absolutely love to see it. Last time I was here, you guys were fantastic. We ran that like button all the way to 280. Guys, boom, mind blown right there. One of the top liked streams here on Benzinga in quite some time. Let's make that this Friday a reoccurrence, guys. I absolutely love having you all as an audience. Love going over these levels for you, and love being part of the Benzinga crew. So looking at RR right now, it is near that previous day high. So intraday level, I was showing you guys how I find my key levels. Supply. I didn't show you supply and demand yet, but I showed you my higher time frame daily support and resistance. Now, when it comes down to finding levels to trade off of, we're day traders. We're not trading on a daily. We're not trading on a 4-hour or 1 hour. We're trading on a 5-minute and a 15-minute. Okay, well, then I want to mark out previous day's high, and I have a template saved for PDH and previous day's low. Template save PDL. Something I will mention on this stock, at least RR, we were moving lower. See how price moved from, let's see, about 30% to the downside, $1.74. Yeah, trade with Kev on X, trading with Kev on Instagram. So something to note, when price moved lower here, you see that price moved from here, 561, all the way to 409, around 420. But look at the volume. Volume's been decreasing. So even though price was trying to trend to a bear move, oh, nice, final. Dude, that's cool, man. Live in Mississippi, but he lives in the Bullish Bears community. That's dope, bro. I appreciate you bringing that up. Guys, if you do want to trade with me daily, I live trade with the community at bullishbears.com Monday through Friday, unless, of course, I'm here as well. Yeah, I do offer a free consultation as well on my website, tradingpioneers.net. Too much going on there. Anyways, back to RR, guys. This lower volume, along with us quote unquote reversing to the downside, tells me this isn't a reversal. This is a pullback. So I would like to see if RR wants to sort of hold, and this could be a pretty nice long position, sort of a swing trade to the upside. And I'd say swing trade, but it'd really probably only be a couple days to hold. 4-to-1 risk to reward, low of previous, stop loss at previous day low. look to get in near previous day high and target that 575. Kevin, when is the charting masterclass? Oh, dude, I know, right? I gotta have that charting masterclass for you guys soon. That would be pretty cool. Well, a Benzinga special. So here on the daily, and same thing on the daily too, we had support right here. And this support, pull it to the left, it was resistance. So we're creating higher highs, we're creating higher lows, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low. This is still a bull trend as well, so something to keep an eye on. Let's see, RR might be up on WAI news. We will cover WAI when 13 is in a few minutes. Guys, definitely wait for 13 to join us. He joins us in 10 minutes. We'll go over some big movers, and we'll see what's moving markets and where we can find a setup. Right now, I do want to take a look. Oh, let's turn on our pre-market one more time. Fantastic. Move that over for a moment. And let's put up our volume profile. Put that up right here. Let's see. Yeah, you're watching it. Yeah, exactly. This is the masterclass. All right, you guys know how I use my volume profile. If you don't know by now, you'll know right now. So when we're using volume profile, this doesn't look like a normal volume profile. Volume profile, VP for short. What we usually look for, and I'll show you an example, volume profile usually looks something like, that's not a good one either. Here, this will be better. Yeah, you see this where it's all high volume? It's just mainly all high volume, a little low volume right there. Now let's look back at what were we just on? Oh my goodness, what a brain fart. What were what were we just on stock-wise? I believe RR, that's right. So now that we're looking at RR, come back on our volume profile, we see that this volume profile looks like a hockey player that just caught a puck to the face. So it's missing some teeth here. So what I would like to see on the volume profile and with RR is possibly a pullback towards this low volume shelf right here, sitting around 424 to 421. This is the 5-minute chart. We see the 5-minute chart candles haven't been smooth. So that's a little bit of a concern in my opinion. When we're looking for clean price action and clean volume, candles will tend to be a bit smoother in price action. When we're choppy like this, volume tends to be choppy just like we see on the volume profile. So I would be a little careful on this one. Let's delete this position tool for now, put in a new one. So this would be the area I would like to see hold as support on RR. If we can hold that, I would possibly, like I said, look for a swing trade, guys. What's cool too, guys, with trading small stocks like this and trading range trading is, let's say we did our daily analysis, right? And we were looking for the daily to continue higher here. Well, if we're able to get an intraday entry and then swing trade it, look at that risk to reward on there. 49 to 1, risking $100 to make $4,900. I'm just saying, if you're able to get a good intraday entry level and you're looking at a daily time frame for your direction and buys, and we're able to get that continuation, take advantage. Take advantage of your entry. Let yourself hold that position and see if it wants to play out. Now, if you're definitely a bit more stuck on being a day trader, then what I would do is I would just simply look to target new high of day, right? And that too, if we're trading this range, we'd be buying the lows, selling the highs, and that's still a 7 to 1 risk to reward. A very good RR for RR. That's pretty funny, guys. AVGO, yeah, we can take a look at AVGO. I'm pretty sure it was HOTTOGO. Let's see. AVGO is definitely looking hot to go to the upside. We'll take a look at our daily time frame here. Same thing, guys. Boom. Took out a low. That's our gap fill. That's been today's session, guys, has been using gaps from earnings and using our higher time frame to find support and resistance. Those have been beautiful lately on our stocks and equities. So let's mark our close, and then we'll mark the low, and we see we swept that low. People tried to short it, thinking we fill the gap, and price reversed right away on them. So at this point, just like any support zone, I'm not looking for price to melt right through, no problem. If we do end up breaking a support zone, we usually chop around, fail to rally off of it, and slowly break through. Whereas if we didn't have that zone here, then yes, we can look for a clean move like that. If we hold this support zone, on the other hand, then we might look to see right here, we have our sell-off, we have our rally, and now I'll look to see if volume could start to pick up. So check it out down here on the volume-wise. volume hasn't really picked up here. If volume was higher on this AVGO daily candle off of 328, I would definitely consider taking longs at the New York session open or even calls here and looking to swing trade those. But because volume didn't pick up too heavy, I'd have to be patient to see how volume picks up today during the New York session. So a few things to keep an eye out there on AVGO. We have some key levels, support below 330 to about 310. And yeah, that's what I see on AVGO, guys. Any other tickers, definitely drop it in the comments. We have our Lucky 13 joining us in about 5 minutes. We did have our core PCE come in. I could take a look at that. Give me 1 second. We'll pull up that information. Let's see if Bull had any news. And we could also take a look at, let's see. We could put Bull in here. See how Bull is doing. Good morning, everybody. Guys, happy Friday, man. I hope you guys had a very green week. I know I did. That's weird. I put Bull in, but it's not giving me Bull on the chart. Let's see. Webull. This is Thursday news, so that was yesterday. Webull expands worldwide as next-gen trading platform gains traction. So that's good. You got to figure out why my chart won't change. We'll take a look at Bull over here. So something too, guys, with some of these brokers. Oh, wow, that's cool. I was given this as an area to possibly buy for long positions, guys. Bull, again, Bull's a good stock for a long-term position because same situation as everything else in terms of Apple, Microsoft, Google, AVGO, MSTR. Webull's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's a broker. It's a verified broker here in the US. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. With that being said, it's been trading within this range of, let's see, of $10.40 to $17. With that being said, it's had highs of all the way 70, 76. So if we're able to buy and hold, no matter how long it takes, buy and hold, we could be looking at a fantastic ROI on stock, not even options. This is purely stock. Looks like a breakout from a 3-day high, 3-day trend on OKLO. Nice, Zach. Good call on that. I love those breakouts. Kevin, is that a real backdrop I need? Bro, I know. You like that? Nah, this is a green screen backdrop. You should see, if you guys check out the social media, you'll see my real backdrop for, got like a nice little set behind me. Looking good. INTC, Intel. Yeah, Intel probably continuing higher too off of that news, but might have pulled back, people taking profit. Wow, yeah, look at that, guys. That is wild. Intel's another one that I hate to be like, oh, I said this during this. But when I cover NVIDIA earnings calls, I do go over other companies that are in that sector, that are in that field. So we went over Intel during the NVIDIA earnings, and back then, Intel was trading near the lows of the range, near $18, saying, guys, Intel's not going anywhere. The whole argument of not going anywhere. So if you could buy lows and get out at highs, even Intel gave an 86% return from the lows of this range this year. We're not looking at thousands and thousands. We're looking at 75, 80%. Yeah, be proud of the I told you so's. I can't be proud of the I told you so's, or I'll have too many and they won't invite me back on. But check out this purple zone of resistance, support, resistance, perfect support. Look at that, guys. That's amazing. 8:30 news. Yep. Yeah, we had 8:30 news today. Did we have any news on INTC this morning? We'll see. But look at this, guys. Volume increase. So we had this gap up. Oh, let's see. Had this gap up. This was about a 30% gap on NVIDIA. 30%, 27, 30%. Pulled back about 10%. Now, remember, guys, when we have a big move like this, it's sort of common that that we pull back after. And the reason isn't because, oh, well, we gapped up and now we're just going to sell off all the way back here again. No, the reason that we start to sell off a little bit from a big gap like this is because people are taking profit. So when we're taking profit, people are selling their position. They were in over here at 25. They're exiting at 31, 30, 30, 50. Exiting at 29. Once they're done exiting, right, they're adding to their position. That's when we start to see that volume increase again. Check that out. Big volume increase. Intel, again, continuing yesterday, leading into a gap today. Intel is moving because of the mandate of production in US or more tariffs? Oh, that's a good thought too. So that, guys, Intel's got a lot going on. We even covered Oracle, had some stuff going on with TikTok. I wish I had, let's see, producer, if you could pull up or send the article for NVIDIA's investment into Intel, that would be pretty cool, as well as the Oracle investment too. I think Oracle invested 500 billion. No, not into Intel. That was into OpenAI. And NVIDIA then put 100 billion into OpenAI. NVIDIA invested 5 billion into Intel. That's what gave us this big move right here. What I find a little funny is that NVIDIA announced 5 billion investment into Intel. They had a big gap up 30%. And we were like, wow, that's huge, a $5 billion investment. And then they announced a $100 billion investment into OpenAI, like completely surpassing Intel. Like, do you think Intel was like, yo, could we get a little piece of that 100? That's a big chunk right there. Awesome, guys. Here's the article. We'll pull that up. Producer, could you send that in our private chat? I can't click the link through the restream. Thank you, sir. The GOAT, the best producer in the world, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's see. Oh, wait, I got to drag this down. And guys, 13. Let's bring on 13. I didn't even notice we got our lucky 13 joining us. Yes, sir. Guys, 13.
Morning, everybody. How you doing, Kevin? Good to see you again.
Dude, I'm doing good. Good to see you too. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, what's been going on this morning? Anything exciting to talk about? Hey, conditionally accepted. Hey, everybody.
Dude, a little bit of everything. So we had a little bit of news going on with the futures, the SPY, QQQ, slowly moving up this morning over pre-market, but that is after a 3-day sell-off from all-time highs. Other than that, Costco had a beat on earnings. Oracle stock rises after Trump signs executive order on TikTok. Boeing also signed 2 massive deals with Norwegian and Turkish Airlines. And we were just mentioning how NVIDIA and OpenAI's deal is about $100 billion, and that was right after NVIDIA invested $5 billion into Intel. So we were looking at those stocks too, who were having quite the reactions this morning.
Oh, yeah. Now, when it comes to the broader market, one of the things I'm watching for right now, since we had that 3-day sell-off, as you were pointing out, is to see if the SPY can actually recapture 660. That's a big line in the sand for me. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that's what I'm going to be watching for as far as the broader market's concerned today.
Let's see, 660 you got? Let's see. Oh, yeah, 660.
Because we did have that tweezer top there, and as soon as that started happening, I was like, okay, we're going to want to see what happens at 660, because if we get a breakdown, we're heading lower, and we certainly got that. Now we're rebounding off the 20-day SMA. We're coming back up to 660. I'm thinking 660 is going to be that resistance area that we broke down from. I don't know what you think about that. What's your thought?
Yeah, no, I like that 660. I have some resistance on SPY around 661 to 662 40. Other than that, though, we still have been in a bull market. So I was telling them too, like, listen, we're just pulling back a few days. A lot of traders who are either new to trading or a little too distracted with lower time frames, they pop up their chart and they see a 15-minute or a 5-minute and they think, oh, we're in a bear market again. But we have to remember to zoom out, look at higher time frames, and really get an analysis on the chart to see, okay, no, we've been bullish. This is just a pullback. So I'm with you on that. I would like to see buyers sort of support us, get us back above that 660.
That's what I'm watching for. See if we end up getting it. Want to see a close above it. We may print above it. I can totally see that happening, but I think what's the most important is whether or not we close above it.
Yeah, guys, if you want, I can do a quick mock-up, and actually 13. Let's try to find some movers too today.
Oh, I've got it. I got the list ready, man.
Beautiful.
Whenever we want to move on to that, after we talk SPY real quick, I'm down to do it.
No, absolutely. Listen, let's just dive right into the movers, unless you had anything you wanted to mention on SPY.
No, just kind of was making a little chit chat, wondering if you were looking or seeing the same things I was as far as the broader market ETF goes. So
yeah,
that's all I was looking at here. We can get to these movers. I know folks are looking to find out what's moving, what we can trade.
Absolutely. Let's get it. Let's see.
First one that I was taking a look at was MRM. That's the best moving stock right now. Currently up over 200%. This is moving on news of that the company has doubled the installation. I'm sorry, hold on. I think they're the one that is. I'm going to make sure they're the one that's selling. Okay, so they are the one that is decided to double the installation of an authentic device orb to 200 stores in collaboration with World in quotes co-founded by Sam Altman and Alex Blania. So these orb devices, these authentication devices, they kind of look like a silver 8-ball. This is interesting, but that's the news. This is moving on here. This company, MRM, has 5.9 million shares in the float. It's a Japanese company, so we don't have the normal earnings reports and financial data that we typically get from U.S. companies. This company appears to report twice a year. So it looks like they do have some cash, or at least enough cash and enough revenue based on the information I was able to find. So I don't think they're at any risk of doing any kind of capital raise or anything like that. But looking at their chart here, we have come down off the high since this news was announced yesterday. We hit the high of 834 and backed off. And what's interesting is that I still have some levels here from the last time that we traded this. I think it may have been August in 2024, the last time that we actually tried to trade this. But this morning, since we've come off of the 834 high, we've just been in a steady decline all morning with trying to recapture some levels in the process, but not happening. We do seem to be kind of putting in a bit of a base here around 425. So we might be able to see this continue to go sideways here, but we're going to need to see some recapture of some levels, particularly the VWAP. That so far has been providing up the most resistance on the way down here. And the sideways price action we're getting is great, but we need to get a recapture of that VWAP. And if we do, the levels to the upside that we're going to get resistance to my eye are going to be 560, and then a really big one at 680 before we make our way up to the after hours high that we saw yesterday.
Nice, dude. This is a wild move. We're talking MRM.
Yeah. MRM, yep. This
Gap
is
from 145 to 447.
Yeah, I mean, it's running on news that came out in the after hours yesterday. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like it may have a bit of a bull flag going on there, but I think I just want to wait and see if we're going to end up getting that. And we have gone sideways, but we haven't really, completely started to curl and turn up yet. So my thought is maybe we should wait for the open and see what it does, because we could get a drop out of the open before it recovers.
No, I agree. I agree. So, looking at the volume profile, it's pretty bake even right now, where buyers are really picked up in the middle between 446 and 650. What I would like to see is if we could find some buying pressure in the low volume areas, sort of towards the downside between 307 and 415. It's also in our optimal trade entry on the fib. Somebody asked earlier if I could just cover briefly my volume profile settings.
Sure.
So on the left-hand side on TradingView, come over to your tools. It usually looks like projections. Come over here to anchored volume profile, and then you click it wherever you want it to start. Because it's an anchored volume profile, it starts wherever you click it, and then it will always update as price continues. So now I started it here yesterday, 4:30. This is when we had that big impact, when we had the news. Now I could see all the volume that was traded since yesterday until right now. So I see that volume is trying to continue. I see that we did even have heavy volume around 642. So if we could look to buy the lows of the volume range, which would be around 359, and then look to get out near those highs, then again, we're just range trading without needing some type of huge parabolic move, right? We're just trading the range. So that's something I would look for on MRM. Guys, gold is completely destroying to the upside right now.
That's probably going to end up being 5,000 before the year's over.
Bro, I'm so happy. Oh my God, 5,000. No way.
Could.
Maybe 4,500.
One thing about MRM, though, to your point about where there could be a really a much better buy area for this. Later in the after hours yesterday, there was a bit of a brief pullback at about 4:55 in the after hours on the East Coast, and that little area right there might be one of the better spots where there could be a buying opportunity, and that's going to be at about 380. So it's in that range that you were talking about. We also have the 200 EMA at 381. on the 5-minute. So I'm thinking that if we are going to get some downside, I agree with you. We're probably going to want to pay attention to some of those sub 4 levels, even as far as down as I think you said 350.
Yeah.
But I should particularly like that 380 level because of the 200 EMA on the 5-minute and that price action we were getting in the after hours at about 4:55.
Yep, that looks good. What gold? What about silver? So we can take a look at silver too. Right now, me personally, I'm a futures trader. I trade gold, ES, and NQ. I am in a gold long at the moment because we surpassed that supply zone we were looking for. And another reason I took this position is because the dollar has been selling off. If it stops me out, I'll wait for a retest of this key level. If it continues, great, I'm in a winner. But we were looking for gold to continue higher, and I'll keep that trade going, right? I'll keep that trade going while we take care of some movers over here. So guys, hit that like button. We're absolutely killing it. We know how markets move because that's just the Benzinga way of things.
The next one I was looking at for movers is the next biggest mover of the morning. That's going to be BIAF.
Nice. BIAF. Yeah, I saw a lot of people were requesting that one. It's a big one.
Yeah, this is Bioaffinity Technologies. Company is moving on the news that they announced that they released 3 additional case studies, and one case study included CyPath lung detecting stage 1A lung cancer. So these studies, the announcement of these studies is causing the stock to move up. The company does have 1.2 million shares in the float, and that's because on September 17th, they did a 1-for-30 reverse split. That's right, folks. This company is trying to maintain NASDAQ compliance. So they are going through all the motions of having to, reverse split to, maintain that minimum bid price compliance. They have to, they're going to have to probably raise capital since it looks like their cash position is not that great. Let me go back to that. So they have less than $1 million in the bank. They lose 4 million, 2 to 4 million on the regular every quarter. So to me, this looks like they're going to have to do some kind of capital raise soon. And I believe, there's an offering that has been filed as of this week to sell 729,000 shares of common stock. I also saw another filing earlier in, I believe it was August, to sell about 12 million. So there's a real chance they could do a capital raise today with BIAF. So I think this is one that, you can certainly trade. I don't know how much higher we're going to go from beyond, the 7-11 high that we made in the pre-market here, as it does look like the stocks might be starting to roll over here as we approach the open. But just keep in mind that this company is doing all the things that one company does when it's trying to regain compliance. It does the reverse splits. It's going to do a capital raise. They're going to need the capital. So unless they get some kind of deal to come along that helps their cash position, I think they're going to do an offering. And it could be as early as today.
Yeah, this is in my opinion a very tough stock. We need some type of offering, need some type of volume, some type of reason for the stock to want to continue in reverse. And without that, I do think this one's just sort of not a slowly dying stock, but it is slowly making its way lower and lower and lower.
Yeah, and we could get another pop. We could get another pop that takes us up, maybe as high as 10 if we manage to break out of that 7-11 area. But right now, volume's not looking great. I think this is another one. Let's just wait and see what ends up happening at the open. It's kind of riding along VWAP right now. I just want to exercise caution with this one. This looks like we could get some news that could pull the stock down drastically.
Yeah, no, it's a tough one to watch. I'd probably leave this one alone, in my opinion. Guys, I do want to just mention, I apologize. So BIAF is the stock we were looking at. It's over here on details. Unfortunately, it looks like my trading view chart on Benzinga Pro is frozen. So that's why I'm sort of jumping back and forth to trading view itself to go over those levels. So let's check that next big mover.
Okay, so the next one that I had is ticker WAI.
Nice.
And this is
there we go.
Oh, right. This is a Chinese company that is moving on an AI robot sales deal. This is so Top King Wen. Throw as many of the most positive names you can into one company name. They're trading higher after the company announced it entered into a sales contract with Walker Times International for the sale of 10,000 units of its TK D2C AI robots. They're going to be buying them for 480 a unit. They're buying 10,000. That's proceeds of 408 million. Now, the issue I have with this is that this is another one that has done a reverse split. They did it on September 4th. They also received a delisting notice, so they are certainly in the crosshairs. They have revenue, but they do lose quite a bit of money. And I don't even know if this is in dollars that we're looking. It's probably going to be in won or RMB, but the point remains that they are going to need to raise capital, and they do lose a lot of money. I don't think I noticed any offerings. Maybe there is one down here from August, but the point is that this is another one that is going through all the motions of trying to regain compliance. And typically, when that happens, you're going to see reverse splits. You're going to see offerings. So there's another one that's potentially going to do the same thing. Right now, we are getting support from the after hours resistance, which is at about 468, 470. You probably see that on your like a smaller time frame. There you go. You see in the after hours there that high. That high in the after hours is going to be is acting as support right now for the current pre-market price action. So if that holds up, looking like we might be able to move off this 470 area and move back over this 65 EMA and VWAP. So that's what I would be watching for here. If we start getting that movement, we may be able to get a better trade out of this. But I think we need to watch for that 535, 540 area because that looks like to be the next resistance area if we do get that movement upwards.
Yeah, no, I see that. I'd need to see good volume. A lot of these that we covered today, I think other than MRM, I'm not seeing like high probability setups. BIAF, WAI, they're looking like very weak stocks that occasionally pop but don't end up sustaining. And with that being said, we don't want to be one of those traders that takes that long thinking that this will be the one time it does actually sustain. No, let's listen to the market. If it hasn't been, let's be careful.
We've seen a lot of these China pump names, and this is actually one of has an article in the news feed here about how this could be another pump and dump. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating with WAI. The float, the read that I got was 1.66 million. My broker says it's 433K. Point remains, this is a very low float stock, so it could get that movement that we're talking about here. But be sure if you do have this and you get that movement that you're selling into it, because I don't think it's going to stick around.
Yeah, please get out into strength in a stock like this. In any trade, right? If we're day trading, any trade, we should be getting out into strength. Markets react unreasonably, right? So if we make a new high and that was your take profit, but you're getting greedy and you go, oh, well, now I want to make more money. Guess what? If the market reacts off your take profit and reverses, you're going to be really upset with yourself. And that is not a good way to trade. We don't want to set ourselves up to be upset with anything. We want to be able to set up a system in our trading that we're completely disconnected emotionally, where you have a system. If this, then this. If we move higher, if this is on our mover list, then I want to see our volume profile hold it too. If the volume profile is holding it too, then I want to see us pull back to the volume profile low. There are reasons, right? There's reasons we do what we do, and what we do is so that we don't take big losses or losses we shouldn't be taking. So this looks pretty good. WAI is one we'll be careful on. Same with what was the other one? BIAF. What about ELBM? How's that one going?
ELBM. Let's see here.
It's the next one on our movers list up there.
Yeah, so I don't think I covered this one because if they're not running like a certain percentage, then I don't know how much meat is going to be left on the bone for us, or if it's even not yet. So I typically cover like the best moving ones. MRM had the 200% movement, and of course we had the sub 100% movers of BIAF and WAI. This would be another one that we could look at here. This is getting movement because it secured a full subscription for 30 million private placement. So no share dilution, but they are getting the capital. So that's the reason why that's moving now. If I look at the chart, look at the chart together. We'll both take a look and see what we see here.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting chart. I like this one. This is one that I would feel a bit more confident in longs. I would just need to see, like I said, volume pickup, sort of buyers stepping around this 125, key psych level 125 to 120.
Just going to say 130 looked like like 125 too. That we're right down to it. So we may get a bounce pretty soon or before we open. We have about 10 minutes left before we open here. So I don't know if we're going to get that reversal in the pre-market. We might.
Yep.
That's something to watch for here with ELBM. What is the share structure of this?
I'm looking
17 million. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I ended up exiting gold longs, took a profit of 230. I'm looking for a re-entry into this broken supply zone. That was the trade setup we were looking for. And now look at volume profile here. We have a low volume shelf until 89.1. So I want to see if we could enter the low volume shelf, which we're doing right now, which is our volume profile, and look to hold that. And then I'm going to take the long positions using this broken supply as demand. But I need to see the reaction first. And once I get that reaction, I might also be able to add to my position and drag my stop loss higher, but it needs to really start to hold. This was resistance down here. Take a look. If it starts to hold, I may look to take this trade on gold. Taking it.
Looks like we might even start to get this ELBM support now. It came down to that 130 area. We're starting to get a little bit of a green candle, though I'm not 100% convinced we're turning around yet. We could still see some slightly lower prints, but we are down near the load zone here for ELBM if we're going to try and take a trade.
Nice.
But I think for me, I'd want to wait until the open. But if this runs before, then have fun.
Yeah. Guys, if it stops me out, it stops me out. That's where I could possibly look for a re-entry. You just got to know how much your risk is, how much your reward is. I do like this area as support. Volume profile, we're building some support here on gold. Looks okay. I'm going to hold that trade. I'll let you guys know if I exit, when I exit, where I exit, or if I get stopped out, because it might stop me out too.
One thing I wanted to point out, because I was kind of looking around to see if we were going to get any other similar deals like the one we got. But do you recall seeing the movement or seeing the news with Lithium Americas ticker LAC?
No. What was going on with that?
So this was moving earlier this week because the Trump administration said they were going to take a stake in the company. And this is part of their renegotiation for the $2.26 billion Thacker Pass lithium project loan. So don't know exactly all the details about what's going on here, but this is some wheel and deal. And they're trying to make this thing happen. And the Trump administration's talking about taking a stake in this. So I started to think, well, what else could we start to see what other companies could the administration take a stake in order to help them out here? And one of the things we've been talking about is critical minerals, and we've talked a lot about some of the different plays. And one of them that I said is super speculative and has, the only shot that it has of really working is if they get approval from the EPA in order to mine the land in Alaska that they own. And that's ticker NAK, Northern Dynasty Minerals. Wouldn't you know it? They received a $12 million investment amid government negotiations. So kind of thinking that my theory here is starting to get some traction here. And I'm wondering what other companies we might see start to get this this kind of investment from the government. Now, one of the problems that this company has is that they need to get a EPA approval, and they have not been able to do that. So they're going through the court system in order to get that overturned. That's still ongoing. So whenever that happens, that'll be a positive first step. And then they have to deal with the Army Corps of Engineers. So lots of hurdles in the way for this, but I wanted to point this out because I have mentioned this before. And I said that this is probably not a great one until that starts happening. But we saw that we were starting to get some upside movement here. And it looks like it's trying to turn around. So because of that news, this might make a trade, but I don't know that I would be investing in this right now until we start getting news of getting past EPA and Army Corps of Engineers hurdles.
Yeah. No, this one, I'm with you on that. We got to see something to help prompt it and support it, because right now it's this big sell candle right here. That's huge. The 17th, July 17th.
That was on the news that they didn't get the EPA approval. I believe that's what it was, or it was some kind of I'll get the news, but I remember when that happened. That was on let's see, I got it right here.
Stopped out of gold, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, out of gold for a little loss.
And you said that was in July. Yeah, so that was
Market's open in 6 minutes.
All right. So yeah, that was on the EPA negotiations not panning out. So I know that there's an exact article for the reason why that moved down, but it has to do with generally that they are not able to move forward with the mining project because of the EPA legal dispute. I think it had something to do with the courts, but I don't remember the exact reason. But it's encompassing all of that. Anyway, what do you want to look at next? Because right now I'm just cycling through some of these movers we talked about, not really seeing anything getting going yet. We still have, like you said, a little less than 5 minutes before we open here.
Yes, somebody mentioned, I think, what they say, DVLT.
So now I was asking about DVLT. Let's look at that. Data Vault.
Data Vault. Don't vault my data.
All right. So yeah. So basically, this is moving on a Bitcoin strategic investment. I wonder if this is just another treasury.
Yeah, it seems like it.
So let's look at the chart on that. By the way, let me look and see what this company's about, because I don't remember if I've ever looked at this or not. Company loses money. Okay, that's good to know. Company needs cash. That's even better to know.
Yeah, right.
This could end up shaping up to be another one that may need to do an offering here pretty soon. So let's see here.
Yeah. And Dennis, we'll cover Apple as soon as we're done here with DVLT. DVLT, it being under $1 makes it a little bit harder for me to trade too. I'm just not a big fan of companies and stocks that are priced this low, but to each his own. And it does have good volume the past few days too. So keep a little bit of an eye on it.
Look at a smaller time frame, because what's interesting is that it is trading above $1 right now, and when it comes down and it's searching for support, it's getting support at $1. So that's going to be the line in the sand, because it's a complete, these stocks are a completely different animal when they go under $1. They trade differently. So if that starts coming back in and goes towards $1, then I think that's kind of your exit to be like, oh, well, do I want to trade this as if it's a penny stock, or do I want to trade it as if it's not? And right now it's looking like we might try and retest that 127 high that we made in the pre-market. So totally see that being a possibility. But if we start to come back in, this support area is going to be at 107 and $1.
Yeah. Yep. I see that. You would say 107 $1. I have, let's see.
107 and $1.
Nice. I got this wick down here, right, where we had our little manipulation leg or break to the downside before we reversed back higher again, 105. So it lines up right with the 106 that 13 mentioned. That's awesome. Legend asking, any SPY setups today? We could take a look at SPY, see if anything is setting up there. SPY was in a little bit of a range, right? We have resistance above us around 661 to 662. We have support below us around 657. And markets did just have core PCE. And core PCE, we know, came in. Let's see. The report issued by the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis provides a summary of August 2025 economic metrics pertaining to personal income, disposable income, personal consumption, PCE, and savings. Key indicators include a 0.4% monthly increase in personal income, a 0.6% rise in PCE, and a personal savings rate of 4.6%. These figures assess consumer spending, income flows, and inflationary pressures. Additionally, the core PCE index increased by 0.3% month over month and 2.7% year over year, providing insight into inflationary trends in the U.S. economy. There's your breakdown, guys.
So as far as the price action goes here with the SPY, and I'm looking on a 5 minute, so you tell me if you are seeing the same thing. But I've got some levels marked off here because they are, when we were making all-time highs, I always mark off when we make those, what those prints are. So here we are between two all-time highs right now, previous all-time highs, 659.11 and 661.04. Yesterday, we were in the pre-market, we lost that 659.11, and we were spending a good portion of the day trying to recapture it. Didn't happen. As a matter of fact, that very area is where we were getting rejected. We came all the way down to another previous all-time high before we ended up closing up near that that 659.11. Now in the pre-market here, we got that PCE report. Guess what happened? We broke over that 659.11 and went all the way up to another previous all-time high That one I just
Yep.
mentioned earlier, 660.104. That was resistance. We've since come back in. We're coming back towards the 659.11. What I think might end up happening here, we're about to open, is that 659.11 might be a support area. So that's what I'd be watching for as we get the price action to the move down there. 659.11, possible support area for SPY. If they get that, should reverse.
I see that too. Let's see, SPY ES.
And while you're looking at that, well, now that we are open, we have BIAF that is moving over VWAP, trying to get up to that 687 or 690 area that I was mentioning earlier. We have that 711 high from the pre-market that it's moving towards. This is that one that junky name, so just be careful. If you're getting a trade out of it, make sure you're taking profit on the way up. WAI. I'm sorry?
BIAF?
Yeah, that was BIAF. So here we go. Went right to that we went to 685. So just shy of that 690 that I mentioned. Backing off a little bit, but we are above VWAP. Looking over at WAI, this is moving down now, right to the that support area that we mentioned earlier of 468. So we are getting a little bit of a bounce there. This is where we're going to want to see it hold up. And if it does not, we're going lower, possibly to that 200 EMA. So we need to see a reversal here. And then MRM doing the same thing, going towards a 200 EMA. If we don't get a reversal there, I mean, this is the MRM. I think we're coming right down to where the area you were even mentioning of 350 to 4, right in this area right now. So we need to find support here with this one. And if we get that, should see a reversal. So that's what we got here from the movers. ELBM. Go ahead.
Don't buy these highs. Sorry, I just want to chime in. Yeah. Don't buy the highs. When we see a mover that's moving and it's heading towards a target, don't go chasing it. You know, you end up chasing a high. What happens is you take the high up here, right? And let's say price starts to wick around. Where's your stop loss, right? Are you going to get uncomfortable if it goes red against you? Are you giving yourself a reasonable stop loss? Is your risk to reward even valid? Where's your next target? It's so important to be able to answer these questions. And if you're answering them with uncertainty or concern, like, oh, well, I was going to target right here, but now I'm buying a few cents away. So now I think I need to target higher. That's not a reason. That's no good reason to take a trade or to have that target.
Now we do have DVLT trying to reach that pre-market high.
Nice.
It's running into a little bit of resistance as it approaches 127, which is that pre-market high. So if volume continues, you may see a move over here. The problem is that this is a larger float stock, as was getting mentioned here earlier. Daniel was mentioning that this does have a large float. So I agree that this may not move as quickly as some of these other names that we were mentioning earlier. You know, the BIAF, the WAI, that has a really low float. So just keep that in mind. Right now, it's still trying to push through that 127 area. And MRM getting a reversal off the area we identified. So far looking okay, not above VWAP yet, but looking decent so far as far as the reversal goes. WAI, same situation, it is getting some support, but I don't think I'm completely trusting this one. Now, this is the China pump, and we have seen the China pumps earlier this month get really, really wild. Not necessarily out of the gate, but later on into the morning. So I think I would just kind of be careful with WAI and wait for that reversal to start happening.
Yeah. That's which one? Not MRM. You said MRM before, though.
I said MRM. That was getting support from that area we identified, but I was moved over to WAI. Sorry, I moved so fast.
That's all right.
WAI was also getting support from the area we identified where there could be support. So it's just really slow moving right now. And I think we need to be very, very careful with this one. So I wouldn't take a position in this until we actually start to see this support actually hold up.
Yeah.
Now, BIAF, on the other hand, that one ended up making new session highs. So 729 now the new high, currently backing off the 7 area, or was a second ago. See how high this one goes. This is looking pretty good. Now, if this gets really, really wild, one of the next areas that I have where this possibly could go to, and it's no guarantee it will, but the next area that I see is $10.
Which one?
That was BIAF.
BIA. Oh, BIA. Oh yeah. That $10 pop, but it's tough, man. It's like you hear these numbers, you think, okay, it's going to go for it, but then if you see it, it's like, okay, well, I was in it, let me get out. Where I'm in it, let me move my take profit higher. Like, respect your stop losses and understand what you're trading. If what you're trading is something that has historically seen pops, but then been rejected right away, then if you're in the trade before it pops, get out when it pops. Take advantage of that trade. But
DVLT is running right now. We have a big resistance area at 150. There's a large seller in the way there, so keeping that in mind. But this is just made the new session highs here. As a matter of fact, I think we can draw a trend line, get an idea of where this goes. So I'm going to start with the high of the regular session yesterday, draw it through the pre-market high, and that kind of gives us a price of about 140, where this might run into as resistance in the next minute or so. If it gets up there, it's pulling back right now.
Nice.
MBX is going, says Marcus. I'll take a look at that. MBX. All right, so what's going on with this? This is MBX Biosciences. It's got almost a 3% move out of the gate here, but it's not really. There's not a lot of volume in this. So far, we only have 125,000 shares traded. Average volume is 1 million. This isn't getting moving yet, but I don't think it's something that we need to kind of write off. Just keep an eye on this, because this might get more attention, and then the volume will start coming in. But thanks for mentioning this. I don't see that this is necessarily moving crazy yet, but just keep an eye on it. It might.
Yeah, I was gonna say same thing. Volume-wise, it didn't really pop up. I don't think it's on our watch or scanner either. So I'd be careful on that. Riot pops up on our scanner this morning.
So BIAF has now halted the downside after making a new session high and beat the pre-market high. 729 backed off. Now it's halted the downside after losing VWAP. What else do we have going on here? It's really looking like nothing except DVLT doing that well. WAI did go lower. 450 is the low of the session now. Trying to turn around, recapture that 470 area. MRM still getting a little bit of a bounce off the 200 EMA down in that area we identified. So we'll see if it can reverse and recapture VWAP.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, not the best looking price action this morning, guys. You know why? You know what? Hold up. My flip phone's ringing. Let me take that out. The market just called me, guys. They said you have to run up the like button to 200, and then we'll get some good price action.
There we go. That is not market manipulation, by the way.
No, they called me directly. It's not manipulation.
So we're getting a little bit of support here with DVLT at 125. We'll see if that holds up. But if you look at the to the left and see where 125 is as far as the pre-market price action is, that was the resistance level earlier at 445 this morning, and we just broke through that level. So when we do that, what happens, Kevin? Now we're looking at a support, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Resistance becomes support. Support becomes resistance. These are key levels. Do not delete them when we break.
Yep. And now here we are with DVLT going from red to green in this current candle, or trying to. There we go. Looking for a new high print. Not quite getting it.
Yeah. What did you say? BLT? Bacon, lettuce, tomato?
BLT?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it wouldn't be a pre-market playbook if we didn't talk about food. So that's definitely happening. So MRM, this is still getting support from the 200 EMA, reversed at 385. Hasn't recovered VWAP yet, and it's making its way up to the sideways consolidation from the pre-market. So going to have a little bit of time trying to chew through that, but looking pretty good for the moment with this reversal.
MRM, I was waiting for MRM to hit around 363. A little bit of a low volume shelf below that, and we are slowly making our way there. So again, I'd like to see MRN hit 363, hold around 350. And again, this would really be buying the lows, selling the highs, right? We're looking to trade the range. We don't want to sell the lows. We don't want to sell when we're breaking down. We want to sell once we break below support and then use it as resistance.
Now, WAI, I'm sorry for jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
But that is still trying to turn around here. 450 is the low print. We are trading back above that 470 level that was providing support earlier. So still hanging on to that. We'll see how this candle closes. We have 30 seconds left in it. So if we get a close above 470, we may be able to go on a recapture VWAP here. As a matter of fact, we just moved up to VWAP. Keep an eye on WAI. We might get this pump action going here.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like, are we gonna just? Oh no, I'm on WAI. They put me on Wayfair.
Shazah is asking, can we talk about ELBM? Is it a dip to buy? You know, we're down at the area where this whole price action started. So if there's going to be any kind of move, this would be I think the spot to get it at. We don't want this thing to go under $1 because then it's going to be a completely different animal, and one that probably wouldn't give us as many good trades. If there is going to be any kind of bounce happening here with this one, I think 118 is going to be about where it goes for the time being. It's not looking that great right now. The volume isn't where it needs to be, in my opinion. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, no, this one, I thought we were going to hold around that 120, 125. The fact that we already broke that is a huge red flag to me. I would not be looking for ELBM anymore. Yeah, especially because if we come to our daily time frame and again mark out those highs and lows, look at this. The last countless times we're in this area above 125 to 130. We reject 1, 2, 3 countless times here. So this probably would have been a better short position, if anything.
Now, BIAF, one of the ones we talked about this morning, that's open again. Went down to as low as 569, trying to reverse here. It is trading beneath VWAP, and it is in this sideways consolidation from the pre-market. It's trying to get back above to that or up towards that 687, 690 area that we were getting resistance at previously. So that's still a resistance level. We need to see closes above that if we're going to go higher. And so far, we haven't got that yet.
You're on BIAF, or did I miss it and you're already on something else?
No. That was BIAF. Now I'm going to look over at MRM. So I'm just, just watching these things, just looking to see what they're doing. And right now it seems like MRM's still trying to get that reversal in there, but it's trading beneath VWAP still. ELBM, this thing is now printing lower. DVLT also coming in after we thought there would be some decent support at 125. Not so, losing the VWAP in the process. This might just be a day where everybody's kind of just leaving. What's that?
Where we don't get anything.
Where we don't get anything, yeah.
Yeah, no, not looking ideal. Kev, quick technical question. I have a limit order at BSX at 98.55. How do you adjust those support resistance levels when the stock goes up? Let's see. So we're looking at BSX.
While you look at that, I'll look at NVNI that we're getting
nice
notified about.
Guys, we're dropping it all. We're chopping it up. We're going over every chart you guys want, getting you guys some great setups. Make sure you show some love. Hit that like and subscribe button. Join us every day, Monday through Friday. Usually it's Ryan and 13 hosting. Today I am covering for Ryan. Great community here at Benzinga. So let's see.
Yeah, so
perfect. That's nice.
So NVNI, this is moving up. It looks like it just it had news earlier this morning. Nuvini developers report up to 8 times productivity gains after full transition to agentic coding via Nuvini AI Lab initiative. So without reading more into that, it sounds like something that they transitioned to is now working for them, and they just announced it. But we have earnings coming up in 11 days. Don't have a real read on their quarterly earnings, so let's go to annual. They lose a lot of capital. They lose a lot. They have revenue, but they lose a lot. Okay, so
I just want to cover BSX real quick. What? So let's see. Cam, what was the question? So technical question. I have a limit order BSX 98.55. So we'll put our trend line there, 98.55. So 98.55 to go long. BSX 90, how do you adjust those support resistance levels? Okay, so if you're looking to go long here, which would mean you're looking for us to hold a higher low, stop loss wise, you would want to keep your stop loss at the recent low we just made. So that's how you would like enter and stop loss on that. I don't know if I'm really getting your question. You're asking how do you adjust support and resistance, but we wouldn't adjust this support zone into resistance just yet because we're still holding it as support. So I would really be looking to see, okay, does this want to hold as support? Can we go make a new higher high here? So I would keep the support the same. The only time I change a support or resistance zone is when we're able to break below it. If we're able to, let's say we came into it, we pushed up and we failed. we make another low, we try to push again, and we fail. Then we end up below the zone. Well, that's when this support area now becomes resistance because we were able to close below it with strength and confirm the bearish trend now. Take a short position below and look to target the next pivot lower. Now, because this is our April low, I really don't anticipate most stocks or companies to hit those lows without some type of economic reinforcement behind it or some type of news catalyst as well for that specific company. So that's how I would look for this BSX trade. Any other questions? You guys know where to drop it right in the comments and hit that like button. You already know.
Now we're getting a request to look at IREN, IREN. This is down 8% today. This is moving lower because JP Morgan downgraded it from neutral to underweight. So in the opening, after the opening bell here, this started forming what looks to me to be a bear flag. And that is indicating that we are probably going to head lower. How low? Well, I think we could see $40. Maybe 40, 50. Like 40 and 50 cents. So that's kind of where I'd be at with IREN right now, just based on the way the stock is trading intraday.
Yep, I see that. I got same levels, guys. 40, major area of support, right? But right now we are in a daily area that price consolidated for 2 days straight. And then we had a nice pop. And look at this pop, came with volume. So that tells me buyers were very happy to accept price above this 40 to 42 area. So right now we pulled back to it. I would consider this as buying the low of the range, and I would think we would probably make our way back to the high of the range. So this looks okay on IREN right here for a possible long position. Again, would be a swing trade, but really only for possibly a day or two, seeing that we can make that move in just a single trading day. So that's what I see on IREN myself. Of course, everything we say is not financial advice. Make sure your own technical analysis lines up with ours, right? That's the best way. The best way to know that you're not a gambler in trading is when you have confluence with your trading, whether that's a volume profile lines up with your key level, previous day high lines up with your old support or resistance. Whatever the case is, once you have overlapping confluences, that increases your probabilities and your odds, and you're no longer a 50-50 gambling trader. You're a more 70-30, 80-20, even 60-40 gives you odds in your favor. So having confluences, having probabilities, that is huge. So something on IREN right here. I see we had strong volume at the market open. I'd look to see how we want to hold this 40-50 low. If we could hold that low, then possible long positions around this 42, 41.50, targeting those 48s.
NBNI, this is starting to get some real nice movement up here. This is the one that had the 8 times productivity gains. This is NVNI. Still continuing to move up here, just hit 154. We are getting to some levels, some highs from, let's see, this was 3 days ago. So Wednesday.
Yeah. I'd be careful on this. We're near the highs of that range now.
Yeah, at these AI stocks, like you're saying, I mean, they're probably a better idea just to not, dabble with these if you can.
Bro,
but they provide opportunities. Yeah, they provide trading opportunities. So there's still scalping that can be done, but no, I agree. A lot of these AI names have really been extended. We're starting to get a little bit of weakness in the tech sector. So these AI trades, they may not have the follow through we're looking for. You mentioned that earlier this week too.
Got to be careful though. AI is the sector that's sort of booming right now. They were even talks of, are we in an AI bubble months, even a year ago? At this point, I feel like that talk is just completely out the window, seeing that markets were able to continue this trend. Something I would look for on NVNI today is we had sort of that bull flag pattern forming over the course of the past 3 days, right? And you would think, okay, great. Well, here's our bull flag. Here's our breakout. But what are we missing? We're missing our volume. There's like no volume down here today.
And it's Friday too. I mean, we're probably not going to get the volume that we were getting earlier in the week when it's the end of the week, and people have already kind of written off the week now.
The reason I mentioned though the volume on the breakout isn't necessarily because of the day of the week that it is, but because on any breakout, no matter what day of the week it is, when price moves higher, volume should be moving higher with it, right? Because volume should be accepting price at higher levels. Same when we reverse to the downside, volume should be accepting price at lower levels. When we get a breakout like this, and volume doesn't confluence with us, well, then that means volume's not accepting price at higher levels, and there's a great chance we want to pull back and reverse. So this might be a pretty decent selling opportunity on NVNI, but you do have to be careful when selling on like a penny stock because the potential to the downside could be huge if it pops.
DVLT is turning around after getting some support from VWAP. So this is coming up to some areas where there are a bunch of sellers. There is some sellers at 130 and 135, but there's a really a couple large sellers at 140 and 150. So as we approach these higher levels, just keep that in mind that this is going to get even tougher for this larger float stock to make its way through those sellers.
Dollar's moving higher. I almost want to try a short here on gold, but it's been pretty strong today.
And as far as the AI trade goes, we have to expect that this whole trade is going to pull back or correct at some point. But I still believe that it's going to end up going higher. We're in a secular bull market for this trade, and we're going to see some pullbacks, some corrections from time to time. But as AI adoption grows, we're going to see this trade come back. In my opinion, we're going to it should be a trade that goes on into the 2030s.
Which one?
The AI trade.
The AI, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I personally like AI sectors. I like AI stocks. I think you just full port your full investment, your full savings account right into AI, and you'll do great. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. But SPY. When in doubt, invest in SPY, right? Nothing beats an ETF,
yeah.
SPY, QQQ. But that's more for a long-term investment type route. Right now, when we're looking for day trades, I mean, MRM, let's see what MRM is doing right now.
It's trading beneath its 200, but it's trying to turn around. It's having a time. We'll see if it ends up doing that. But as more time goes on beneath this EMA, the less confidence I have that this is going to recover.
Yeah, I got gold ticking to the downside with some volume trying to push lower too.
To your point about just invest in the SPY and things we find. As a matter of fact, I've been piling a lot over the past year into VOO, and that has been one of the best ETF winners that I've had.
Which one?
VOO.
Oh yeah, that's a huge one, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Massive.
Yeah,
cool.
And those emerging markets and foreign markets have also been doing pretty well, and I expect that that'll continue.
Yeah, I agree. They've been consistent. Markets have been bullish. If there's an overall bullish market sentiment and you're in ETFs, those are going to show you some consistent gains. So
now I'm just waiting to see if we get some more upside movement here in NUAI. Looks like Bull, BULL, that some folks were mentioning earlier. That's getting a little bit of a reversal off the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. See how that can recapture its VWAP. NVNI, this is kind of topping out a little bit here at 154. Volume is kind of drifting away at this moment for NVNI. So don't know if we're going to get a push higher or if it's going to start to come back in.
NVNI?
Yeah, that's what I was just mentioning here. It's kind of slowed down here with this upside movement it's had. ELBM, that just looks like it's still beneath it's now beneath the 200 EMA. This looks like it could go lower. Volume's awful in this one. BIAF, that had another attempt to try and capture the VWAP, didn't work, going lower. And WAI has not got the China pump yet.
Hasn't gotten the China pump yet.
Nope.
Somebody call them.
Nope. But you know what? I wonder if maybe we start hitting the like a little bit more, we'll start to get some more volume into this. If we get increase the like volume, we might increase the trade volume.
That's true. I heard those do actually correlate together. We were talking about correlation before.
It's so weird. MBX, this very low volume stock that was mentioned earlier, that's still, it's got a slow climb going on. It's still under 5%. 1833 now, the session high. Just thought it was worth pointing out. This is such a low volume stock though that if you're in this, make sure you're paying yourself, because I don't know where this party ends.
Yeah, hit 200 likes, guys. Congratulations. Great job, everybody. Appreciate you all. Support is free, and our call outs are free too. Let's see.
Tencent, that's not true. We've observed plenty of China pumps that go during the regular session, not just overnight. HIMS, Tennis is live. I'll look at HIMS.
Yo, 13. Look at, you remember you called out, what was that, like 60? It was something on ES. It was like 6 something.
660?
Yeah, it was like
For
660.
SPY? Yeah.
Yeah, SPY. I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at that, guys. Perfect support right there. Perfect support. Perfect support in demand. Yes, that's awesome. That is great.
Yeah, the 660 area, I was looking to see if that was going to be a resistance area. We need to close above that if we're going to see more upside in SPY, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. SPY, and again, though, to remember, guys, when in doubt, zoom out. We're in a bull trend. Clear bull trend since April lows. Since April lows, we are up on the SPY from lows to highs 38%. That's mind-blowing. Guys, we are blessed to be in such an economy, such a stock market like this, whether you've been buying and holding since those April lows, whether you've been day trading since those April lows, whether you've been day trading since before those April lows. To gain this exposure and experience in these market conditions is so ideal and gives you such an advantage, because now you're able to say that, hey, you experienced a correction, because guess what? A correction, a bear market, that hits under 10%. We hit over 20% to the downside on the ES, the S&P 500, the SPY, to the downside from February to April. In 2 months, we had that sell-off. And then since then, we had one of the greatest pumps in history. We have lived through that. We have experienced that now. That is amazing. Even if you didn't profit from it, you're gaining the exposure and experience.
Regarding HIMS, so I'm looking
Yeah.
at a smaller time frame chart, 5 minutes, and it's kind of looking to see what the price action was over the different days this week. The price right now is currently coming up to a resistance area that looks like we established on Tuesday and carried over into the pre-market on Wednesday. That's going to be at about like 56. I want to say 56.80, somewhere in there. Because if you look what happened as we opened on Wednesday, we tried to hit that area and we just got immediately rejected to the downside. So now here we are back at that area trying to recapture it. And that's going to be the big resistance area. But if we do manage to get through it, then you have, looks like you have resistance at 57, I guess 57.50, and then finally 58. Those would be the next three levels I'd be looking at based on the price action we've been getting this week.
Nice.
We are ready for another correction, Lion. I do believe that we really need to. This market
ready for another correction. Don't say that.
Well, I mean, hey, look, if we get it, then I'm on board for the market to go higher.
Bro, I'm with it too. Just remember though, while we are at highs, don't be anticipating a correction, right? Don't be trying to sell every little pullback we have, thinking, oh, we're due for a correction. Trend being our friend, we're bullish until we're able to start to make some lower lows and lower highs.
Now we are getting some really nice movement here with NVNI. That's now at 161. I also saw that Data Vault, DVLT, that's curling back up. It looks like this is trying to recapture the 130 level where it was getting some support earlier.
Yep.
So now that's resistance. Going to need to see this volume expand if we're going to get through it.
Yep. Yeah, I think Andrew's going to lose it if we don't cover CMC. So let's cover that real quick.
Okay.
Find some key levels. Absolutely. Catherine, you got it. Likes over 200. You got the best audience here. We've got the best traders with me, 13, and Ryan here. And of course, we have some of the best guests as well, like Anne-Marie and everybody else. So make sure you make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And of course, follow our social medias is at Benzinga across the board.
Now, what's the concern here with CMC? I see that they had some kind of announcement earlier this week about them acquiring CP&P in a $75 million push into the precast market. So they're acquiring concrete, pipe, and precast. So don't know enough about this to really have an opinion on it. So I guess I'll just go to the chart. Yeah, because I mean it's in metals and mining. I see that the float is 83 million. It looks like we are coming off of a downturn that we had earlier this week, but we need to recapture the 20-day SMA. That's where we're at right now as far as the daily chart is concerned. It looks like we're still trying to move into this. I want to say the $59 area, because that looks like where the resistance has been more apparent. So if we get a recapture of that 20-day SMA, I'd be looking at I'd say maybe 59.40 to 59, maybe 59.40 to $60 would be the range where I think we could see some, some resistance pressure if we manage to recapture that 20-day SMA.
Yeah, agreed. I like 59.50. If we're going directly, strictly off of like key levels, I do like support and resistance. 56, the 56 even, a 57 support. We held that very well over here to create a higher low. Now I would look to see, we created the higher low. Can we go create another higher high? We just created higher highs here, 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 buying the lows, selling the highs. This one actually does look like it's setting up pretty well. Like I would, if I saw this yesterday or this morning, this might have been something I'd get in for a few days. I do like this range. I do like that the trend is clearly bullish, higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, looks pretty solid. What I think who asked for that? Andrew, let me know, are you in a trade already on this? Are you long? Are you short? What were you looking at? Somebody asked.
Brian, RTX is one of the best defense stocks, hands down. I'm in that one. I love it. It's great.
No, you're good. You're good. Somebody asks, Kevin, what do you do when you're not crushing the markets? That's all I do. I don't know, man. No, I teach more people how to crush markets. That's all I do, dude.
Maverick is mentioning that QUBT is ripping. So this is another quantum stock. This is up 12%. So I'm looking at a daily chart. We're kind of moving up towards this the top of this last impulse candle that we had here on last Friday on the 19th. Kind of doing some similar action here. Now that topped out at about just shy of 24. So if we continue with this upside price action here in QUBT, I'm really looking at 24 as a resistance level. That's where it was rejected last time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like exactly on those levels. Look at this. And we have support. I like $14 to $14.70 as support on QUBT. We held that area a few times as support and then made our way higher. Looks like, let's see, 60% return on that from those lows. We are at the top of our range right now. So how do we trade the top of the range, guys? We don't. So we wait for us to the one way we could trade the range is to short the top of the range. But that would, again, like I mentioned before, only be if we were in a bit of a bear market. But because markets are in a general bullish direction, we don't want to short these highs. If anything, we'd possibly want to wait and see, okay, we pushed higher, rejected there, pushed higher again, a higher low is formed. Can we push higher, make a higher high, pull back, and use this old resistance as support? And go long off of that 24, right? 24 is resistance right now. I want to see 24 flip and hold as support. Kamal asked, do we have any website to check unhalt time for volatile pause? Doesn't the Benzinga Pro have that?
Ryan has the exact module that has that information. I don't have that set up on mine, unfortunately.
Ooh.
I'm always like leaning on him to give me the information on the time that we have left on the halts or the time that we got halts.
Gotcha.
Andrew's saying CME is a great volatility trade. There we go. Thank you, producer. Appreciate that. He's got a website for you.
Oh, cool.
NASDAQ trader.
You send that in the private, please, and I'm gonna put that up. Pro has unhalt times. Yeah, I thought Pro had unhalt times too. Guys, gold is ripping right now. Dollar finally took a turn to the downside again. Gold started to rip, higher lows being formed there off of opening price. I'm not in any trades on gold. It did chop me up a little bit on the long positions here, so I'm down a little bit on the day. But we got to accept that, right? You have to be able to accept red days and green days because it's going to happen, whether you're trading for 5 days, 5 months, 5 years. Every trader has red days. It's how you manage those red days that separates profitable from unprofitable traders.
I'm looking at CME here, and this is going to be. I think this will be good later on. It's just right now, maybe. I don't know about a volatility trade, but I think because data is going to continue to become so important as we go on. It's already important right now, but as it goes on, it's going to be more and more important, and there's going to be a lot of demand for this. And I think this one, NASDAQ, that's ticker NDAQ. Give me a second. I'll pull up some other ones because I think they could all move really well. Just give me a second here, and I'll give you the tickers, because we were talking about this earlier in the week. So give me a second. As a matter of fact, I may even have it in my notes.
No, you're good. You're good. CME, yeah, CME looks pretty solid. I like the volume build up down here too, starting to increase, along with price starting to increase. So that's a few things that we're looking for on CME.
I'll get it. Don't worry, I'll get it.
Come on. I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
Any tickers you want us to cover, definitely drop it in the chat. We'll make sure to cover them. I know some people were talking about Apple, MRM. Let's see. Oh, back to the sewer. Yeah, is it dropping?
Back to the sewer. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. All right.
Oh, yeah, look at that. It's in the area that I wanted us to hold as support with that low volume shelf, but I just don't see it holding.
Okay, so the other names, in addition to CME and NDAQ, CBOE and ICE. Those are all the ones that could do. Yeah, well, these are all the names that just what we were talking about as far as data goes. These are really important for financial data. These are not so much trades as they are investments. These are going to do really well, I think, over the next year or so. So I would absolutely suggest that folks take a look into that. If you have a financial advisor that manages your portfolio for your retirement, your long-term trades, talk to them about that. I think they'll like it as well.
Yeah, no, that's solid. Play for reversal. Somebody asked, do you guys use not RSI, MACD? No, I don't use MACD, RSI, nothing. You do?
I do use RSI and MACD. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, MACD is going to tell me, the momentum of a particular direction it's going, and I use RSI, of course, for the relative strength. And if there's it's going beyond certain levels, and I really know that's to stay away and not buy it, because wouldn't be buying anything with like an 80 to 90 RSI. That's essentially chasing. Yeah. So that's where I'd be with that. So let's see here with some of these movers that we're looking at. We were looking at this morning. So we're trying to get a pullback here with NVNI. MRM, as you were pointing out, we are really sinking on that one. That lost 200 EMA, and once it did, down it went. Coming down, I don't even know where this is going to get support right now. So this one did not end up working out. Maybe it comes back later on in the afternoon, as some of these have shown they can do. Yep. None of the movers look pretty good this morning, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. Daniel, I'm curious, why is that surprising that I don't use MACD? So my opinion, everybody has their own perspectives on indicators, right? But indicators, without any argument, RSI, MACD, even moving averages, are considered lagging indicators because they won't show a reversal until the markets actually do give us that pop and reversal. Now, I like to use key psychological levels, supply and demand, key levels as well. Kevin, show Daniel. Oh, yeah, my bubble chart. Everybody loves the bubble chart, guys. Welcome to, this is Bookmap. So Bookmap is an order flow tool. So basically, it's not giving us a chart based off of time. It's not like 5-minute candles, 1-minute candles. This is price, and this is volume. The big bubbles show us large volume. The small bubbles show us small volume. We could use that, and the red levels behind, these are passive orders. So this was a passive seller. We're filling it with a big passive buyer. So now I could look to see if we could surpass this 3,800, get to 3,802, and then retest 3,800 for a long position targeting that next level. So there's that break. There's some good volume coming into on gold. Looks solid. Nice, nice. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. That's Bookmap. If you guys want to learn anything that I use, please feel free to message me. X handle is Trade with Kev. Instagram handle is Trading with Kev. I'm definitely more active on Instagram. If you have any questions, shoot me a message, and I got you guys. Always looking to help out.
That bubble chart, man. That looked like that's the infrared predator vision.
Yeah, right.
That's how predators trade. Not from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Anyway.
Yeah, gotta make sure you clarify on that.
Yeah, gotta make sure I clarify that. So AQMS being asked about this one. This was moving. I don't see news as to why it's moving right now, but I do see that there was a announcement yesterday that they are going to be participating in the Battery Show of North America from October 6th to 9th in Detroit. So they're going to be discussing, critical minerals and trade policy. I don't know if that's necessarily what this is moving on. Like I said, I don't see any news that this is going on, but this is a low float stock. We have seen some of these other battery plays get going here, so it could be a bit of a relation trade that we're seeing here today, because I don't see anything that's necessarily driving this. So that's kind of where I think we were getting the movement from, is that some of the other critical minerals and mining names that have to do with the sector are moving as well.
Yep. Which ticker?
This was AQMS, Aqua Metals. This is basically battery recycling, is my understanding.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, look at this one, beautiful. 15. Oh, this is a 15. I thought that was a daily. Oh, daily still looks pretty solid too. Now
there also could be that this, we have seen these, NASDAQ compliance plays get a lot of attention when they have that kind of announcement. They are going to be doing they did just do a reverse split, so they're going through the motions. Now let's look at their financials, see how bad or good it is. And it's not looking great. They lose money, and they don't have a lot. So I would expect this company to do a capital raise. That's where I'd be at with this one. They need cash. They don't have revenue. Well, they have some revenue, but it's not much, not enough to make up for the shortfalls that they'd have. So I would think that the capital raise is coming here with this one. They're going through all the motions to do it. So
yeah, no, I agree. I like this. This is interesting. Aqua Metals. Let's see. That's funny. Somebody said, I love when some of the guys bring on a chart and tell you should buy it when it was back at that level. Like, oh yeah, you should have bought it back here.
Oh man, if we only could make money off of should-haves.
Yeah, right. Oh man, we'd be billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can do with coulda, woulda, shouldas is implement them into our strategies going forward, so we don't miss it again.
Oh man, what's going on here with Kodak Tennis? Is Trump talking about it?
Oh no,
that was so funny to have that be the trade for this stock. Whenever, like back in 2020 and 2021, whenever he came on and started talking, this stock would move. All because he said that Kodak Eastman might be developing chemicals for development of the COVID vaccine. So this news that we have here, actually we don't have any news today. This is back from Monday. Kodak and Ateos announced that they have demonstrated the fastest solvent-free production process for high-energy electrodes ever reported. Now they also have some insider buying that was occurring back in August, so that's kind of interesting. I think we've also kind of explored a little bit that this company is shifting away from photography, and it has been for a while, moving more into just chemicals in general.
Yeah, BIAF holding that area of support we had marked out.
BIAF went down to the support area.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Off at 518. Looks like that low volume shelf. Looks like it's trying to hold, range back higher. Would be a little careful. Our first 15-minute candle of the day was a big rejection candle. Like we tried to pump and we failed the high.
Yeah, and right now to me, this isn't looking like it's going to have the greatest time recovering. I feel like if this moves back up towards 575, there's going to be some rejection in that area. It's just not the greatest looking chart right now. It's got more against it than it has for it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, tough read, guys. When you have too much going on, right, you're saying, okay, well, I could make an argument for longs, and then you could make an argument for shorts. Now comes the whole, where's your edge? There is no edge. If you feel like you could say, okay, we're shorting here because we're making lower lows. Oh, but we might be going long here because we're just pulling back from an all-time high. Let the market play out. There's no harm in letting the market play out. If you're trading on a 5-minute chart, there's no harm in letting one 5-minute candle close. If you're trading on a day chart, right, a daily chart, you're swing trading, there's no harm in letting an extra daily close or even come close to close, right? Wait for that power hour to enter the trade to make sure that that candle was finding daily volume, was getting that direction you were looking for.
So
I know Izzy, right?
While Kodak doesn't have any news, it does have some pretty good short interest. We got almost 20% of the float shorted with over 11 days to cover. That's probably, I would say that that's more likely what we're seeing here than anything else. I don't know what else is causing this to go, but that would be the culprit if I had to put my finger on anything today about why it's moving. Now, to what you were saying earlier, I just wanted to touch on this because I want to make a point about it, about why you don't use RSI or MACD.
Yeah,
there is such a thing as too much.
That's right.
Information, and I've tried to see how much is great for me, and you do get overwhelmed looking at too many things. You kind of want to create your own lane of data and just kind of stick with it. So I use things like the EMAs and the View App, and of course RSI and MACD. But I don't really use a ton beyond that. I'm not looking at much else. I have my time and sales, my order book, and my price ladder. That's really it. I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. So it's really just about setting up the information that speaks to you, that you can react to the most easily. And once you've got all the data, enough of the data that you feel like you can make some good trades on, I don't think you need to overdo it.
Let's see. Kodak under the hood options call buying, seeing heavy buying, gamma squeeze, anyone akin to INTC run. Oh, akin to ICTC.
What's
Yeah.
What's the? I also have a giant mug of coffee. That does help, absolutely. So now bury the goat. Kodak has a huge catalyst coming up. Now I could probably take a look and see if I could find that in the news feed. But would you mind just giving us an idea of what that is?
What's that?
I'd be curious to know. Oh, I was just asking Barry the Great because he's saying that that Kodak has a big catalyst coming up, and I just wanted to know what's happening with that. Producer's saying that he's seeing a few catalysts for Kodak on X. So Barry the Great, if you would be so great as to let us know which catalyst you're referring to, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, AQ. Who said that? AQMS. Yep. Daniel, good call. I just saw that too. AQMS took a bit of a hit off of those new higher days again. Made another new higher day and popped back lower. So it would be a buy the dip opportunity. VWAP is curling up with it. Looks okay on longs, that's for sure. Definitely, man, gold, dude. We were right on the bias on gold. I was just a little too early on my entry. Original trade was over here. Stopped me out. Could have looked for a re-entry, but the way that this price action was holding up in my system, this did not really give me a very good A+ setup. So what happens? It is what it is. We'll live to trade another day.
So Barry is saying that it's going to be in pharmaceuticals and manufacturing, producing pharmaceuticals by the end of the year. That's interesting because it's something that got the whole thing going back in 2020 when it was said that they were working on helping make the chemicals for development of COVID vaccines. So interesting that they've come down that direction. Advanced materials and chemicals amid challenging Q1 2025 results. Sorry, I'm just reading some headlines here from this earlier in the year. I just don't see where the that headline was or that information is, but I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just trying to see if I can find it for myself. But if that's the case, that could be great. Be really great.
Kodak pharmaceutical production by end of the year. Yeah. Trying to buy NOV. I think it just got beaten badly.
Okay, so this was back from July, right? Kodak's expanding in pharma with a new FDA-registered CGMP facility in, what is this, Republic of China? No. What's hashtag ROC? Producing critical components and reagents for medical testing. So medical testing. Okay. Hey, I mean, great. A new newcomer to the formerly photography, now in pharmaceuticals.
Yep. Cool, man.
Thank you for that information, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, guys. Somebody asks about Fly. We can take a look at Fly. It has been selling off since it IPO'd. It looks like it IPO'd August.
Thanks, Tenzin. Of course, it's that's what ROC is. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. You're good. 49% of the downside since IPO, $70 to $35. So half off. You can get the stock for half off right now. I would want to see it reverse, right? We always want to see reversals before we enter our trades. Right now, the trend is bearish. This market was created here on the stock. It sold off, pulled back. That's a lower high, sold off, lower high, sold off. This was a higher low compared to this right here, but then we ended up selling off again, making another lower low. So I would really want to see us, if we could get back above this pivot right here, 41.57. So if we could get back above 41.57, I'd wait for a $42. I'd wait for us to get back above 42, retest, and create a higher low somewhere near this $40 area. And that's where I would look to take a long position if we're able to hold up and reverse back bullish on this company. Right now, not looking ideal. Let's see. What else we got? CLF starting to look like a 12 range.
Lion, you would think that a 70% decline off the high would make it viable, but holy cow, man, where does this party, this party end? It seems to me like this is trying to turn around here, but we did just lose the 50-day SMA again, so not sure. One thing that I like about NVO is that they have a alcoholism disorder treatment that I believe that they're working on. And I think that could be a big player down the road for this. So something to keep in mind here with NVO. But man, what a decline off of this. Now, I don't know that we're going to get go any lower than this $45 price that it hit earlier in the year, back in August. But it seems like if we do, the next support that I see after that is going to be down around 37.
Yep. DVLT. We can take a look at DVLT again.
Pop over with CLF.
Ooh.
Cleveland Cliffs. Is that what that one is? Yeah, Cleveland Cliffs. What's nice about this is that they just had a golden cross back in August. So they death crossed back in June of 2024. They just golden crossed in August this year. That's a good sign that this could potentially go higher. Next resistance area I see is going to be the 500-day SMA. That value is going to be at 1358. But I think I would even like it even better if this got back up to 16. I have a line drawn right there. I don't know how far back this goes, maybe last year. But that $16 level, I think, is the spot that I like the most. $14 does look like a bit of a stiff resistance area as well. But those are the levels that I like. If we can manage to get back up to the 500-day SMA, I would be wanting to see 16 following that.
Yeah, no, that looks solid. I'm looking at DVLT right now, guys. This was on our movers list. Was it on our movers list, or was it just requested? I think it was just request. Oh, it was on the movers list. It was number 4 on the movers list. But at this point, guys, the price action the market has been giving us on DVLT has been failing to trade higher and failing to trade lower. This is a no trade zone. We do not try to force any trades in areas like this. Yup, market is weak, Izzy. You got it.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, guys? A lot of times I'll notice, like, if you have a really strong week in trading, like Monday through Thursday, those Fridays tend to be, like, horrible. Then on the flip side, Monday, Tuesday, choppy. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday tend to have a bit more follow through. So be careful, be patient. Markets aren't going to give us A+ setups every single day, but showing up every day gives us the opportunity to not miss it. Hey, good job. Well, out of AQMS, done for the day. Have a good weekend.
All right. Yeah, have a great weekend. And, come back next week. See if we can get some upside here. Yeah, and when you come back next week, make sure you have another good weekend. That's right.
Hey. Yep.
All right.
Hey, thank you, Kenny. Kenny said, MacD or not, I'm on Team Kevin. There are many death crosses that come back. I'm calling it a market resurrection. Nice.
Look at NUAI. This suddenly getting a good move here after moving off of the 65 EMA. We just have a new session high. It's approaching the pre-market high of 198. So looking like that $2 area is going to. And I look at the price ladder. I see there's a large seller in the way at $2. Got a seller at 195 as well. So we managed to get through those two. This thing looks like it's not going to have as much resistance going up through 210. but they can always reload. So just keep that in mind. But right now, $2, big resistance.
Yep. Cam, let me. Oh, hey, Brian, good job. Brian said, best day I've had in over a month.
Wow.
Way better bearish than I am bullish. Anyone else experiencing this? Brian, you're not alone, man. A lot of times people do better in bear markets because those bear markets tend to have quicker reactions than the bull markets do, right? Because bull markets really do require heavy and steady buying participants. As soon as those buying participants fall off, that market is considered weak. And a weak market can very easily sell off because all it needs is that selling pressure or selling delta to start moving to the downside. So yeah, a lot of people do have better times in bear markets than they do bull markets. So listen, that's great, right? If you could recognize that, take advantage of that, and only look for those short setups, right? Know that your best setups are shorts. Go for those shorts then. Don't force things that aren't in your favor.
Now look at NUAI. We're beyond 2, and we're really going now. Here we are at 210, where that next seller is.
Nice, beautiful, nice, good job, 13.
Good, thank you. 210, and there's a little bit of a seller wall at 215, and then it really thins out after that. So don't know how much higher this is going to go when the seller's going to start to step in, but make sure you're paying yourself. Let me look at a daily chart to see if I get an idea where this. Oh, what do you know? So maybe 230 could be where the party might end. That's the 200 EMA on the daily chart. That could be the spot. We'll see. It might be this slightly before it. I would say 225 to 235. I think that's going to be the big resistance area for the day. So we'll see what we end up getting here.
Guys, don't worry, guys. We got plenty of time to cover charts, go over call-outs, cover things that 13 will mention, anything that I'll mention. We've got advice, call-outs, and everything, everybody. This is a show that brings education. This is not just call-outs. Oh, buy now, sell now. No way, guys. We want to give you the education so that if you can't catch a stream, you could still take your own trades. Isn't that the point of trading, is to have that financial and freedom from having to work under somebody? So want to take advantage of it, learn it. We're going over everything. Yeah, we got it, guys. We're cool, calm, and collective. Got to keep a good attitude when it comes to trading. When it comes to anything, you have to have a good attitude about it or you're not going anywhere.
NDNI, this just rolled over here. It lost its VWAP. We're approaching the 65 EMA down at 137. You look to the left here, see if there's any other support areas. Looks like you might get some support around 140. But if that doesn't happen, then I like the 65 EMA on the 5-minute.
Yo, I really like NVNI where it's trading right now. I think this is a buying opportunity right here off this 144.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to get the volume profile to pop up here. It's taking a second to load.
If anything, it might be a bounce. I don't know that this is going to reverse here. It might. But like you said, I think with the volume, that's going to be the key here. If we're going to see the volume come back in and we're going to reverse, but and it looks like the momentum has swung in the other direction and we could continue lower.
Yeah, we'll see. If we could get back above 144, I do like it for possible longs. Let's see. Somebody was saying Crocs, Sydney Sweeney, huge news. Don't get my hopes up. If Crocs has Sydney Sweeney, you know we're buying it.
Oh my God. What is that ad going to look like?
Oh my God, that'd be really funny.
Let's see what the news is. Let's see.
All right.
Is all legs in her latest fashion campaign.
What is it?
No way. Is she wearing Hey Dudes? She is. All
What's
right.
she wearing? Send the
Hey
link
Dudes.
in
Here, this is a shoe brand that I happen to wear.
There we go, guys. 13 and Sydney Sweeney. They're a lot alike. No?
I'm not going to say how we are, but no, this is awesome because I think those shoes are great. They're really comfortable.
Nice. Let's see. Producer, do you mind sending that in the private chat so I could send that through, pull that up on the screen? Anne-Marie and Sandra will break down things like no others. Yeah, that's right. Kenny, you got it. We have Sandra, I believe Sandra or Anne-Marie coming on later at 11 today, going over options and stocks as well. So great. Again, all around, these Benzinga shows are here to help you improve as a trader. We're not here to give just free call outs. You're not here to make free money. This is to help provide information, provide education.
and to a degree entertainment.
Well, that goes without saying. Let's see. Somebody mentioned, thanks, Kev. I like IREN around 140. Take a look at IREN one more time. IREN. Yeah, be careful, because now we did break that area of support. So I would, like I always say, we've been saying it all morning, when we're looking for reversals because we're near lows, we need to let the market prove to us that it actually is holding the lows, right? We don't want to just buy the low here, because then we ended up continuing. So if we could start to draw some pivots out, right? So let's come to the 15-minute time frame and draw some pivots. These are our lower highs that we created. So once we could come back and take out some of these lower highs, then we could have some confidence to take a long position. But this $40 mark, it is a key psychological level, so I would like to see a reaction. But with the selling pressure that we had going into this area, look at the price action we have to the downside, along with volume staying pretty strong to the downside. So again, be patient on this one. I would not look to buy IREN until it does prove that it's holding the bottom of this range. And remember, we're looking for the bottom of this range on the daily time frame. So we could wait 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, because we're looking at a daily time frame.
You know, Kenny Rogers, that's not a bad idea, to be honest. If she just waltzes into Cracker Barrel with, wearing her American Eagle outfitters and on her Hey Dudes, oh man, that would do the stock wonders. As a matter of fact, she might even have to be the new CEO at that point. Now, Crocodile Dumb Me, if you click the link that I provided, she's not wearing the shoes around her neck.
Oh yeah, let me pull that link up.
So there are some images if you guys need some of those. But yeah,
those some ugly shoes. I'm
okay.
just kidding.
They're
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know that. Isn't that Crocs and Uggs their whole thing? But mainly Crocs.
I don't get Crocs. Like, I don't get the appeal with those. I don't get it at all. But
did you say you don't get Crocs? Don't you have these pair of Crocs?
I have Hey Dude, but the Crocs themselves, the rubber looking shoes, I don't get the appeal.
Guys, I would definitely keep Crocs on your radar. We saw what happened last time. She decided to do an ad on something. What are those? Yo, Joe, what a throwback to a joke. 13, do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. Made it all the way into Marvel movies, too.
What are those?
Crocs actually has some decent short interest. It doesn't have the 5 days to cover that we like to see at least, but it does have 14% of the float shorted. So, and to your point about this potentially going on a run like American Eagle Outfitters did, I can kind of see that happening. But let me just look at something real quick here.
So easy to put on. What are those? Love it. Somebody mentioned Open Chop keeps faking me. Yeah, definitely be careful on something like Open, because Open is something that's sort of speculating around the stock market industry right now. Like, a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people have made money off of it lately. So it's something that if you are entering at this point all the way up here, you would want to be careful with your stop loss, right? You would want to know how much you're risking, possibly have a stop at the pivot low, because we're looking for a bull trend. So we're looking for higher high, higher high, higher high, higher low, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. And then do we hold here? Do we hold here and create a higher low, or do we break here and go create a lower low? So at this point, it's looking like we're trying to create that higher low. So yeah, we would look for bulls to continue, buyers to continue on this one. This is Open. They seem to be a shoe.
It is. My kids have Crocs. They like them, but I look at them and I'm just like, I don't really get it. But as was just being pointed out, you either love it or hate it, and that's fine. But here's the thing about the Crocs chart that I think this news is kind of timely, because the chart looks like it was about to go on to take the next leg lower. Now, I don't know if you see the same thing here on a daily chart that I do, but that 73.76 level that it reversed off of back in August, that looked like we were about to get test that again really shortly here until we got this news. So I feel like with this news coming, we may have prevented the next leg down here. Is kind of where I'm at with Crocs.
Got a little Boeing news just came out. I want to check the stock. Okay. FAA to allow limited delegation to Boeing for issuing airworthiness certificates on some 737 MAX and 787 planes starting September 29th. So that's FAA news. See if Boeing does have a reaction to that. Wow, yo, look at this, guys. We marked out our key levels. Remember earlier on Boeing, this is like pre-market session before we had our Lucky 13 with us. We had our bear range. I know you like that nickname. It's a good one. But we had our top of the range. We had our breakout. We had news from the morning, which is what we covered with the article. We retested the range, and now we're holding. This looks A+ on Boeing for a possible swing trade, and that swing trade could be on some calls, right? We could look for a good ROI on that for Boeing. So this is interesting, right? To trade Boeing just to the back of the top of its range. Not looking for a major move, just looking for it to stay range bound, and yet that's still very valid. This looks pretty good. I like Boeing. That would be under and boom, stamped A+ possible setup on Boeing.
I agree. This is good news. It's just that I was laughing because I think this is the kind of practice that led to the low quality control measures that they were getting hammered on earlier, because they had plenty of Boeing, payroll. FAA members so that they could, approve some of these things. So I think this, it just sets up a problem as far as I'm concerned. I don't think Boeing should have any say in the certification of their aircraft. I think it should just be completely FAA regulation. But that's just my opinion. It's probably a bad one. And
hey, opinions can't be right or wrong.
It's great for Boeing. That's all that comes down to, because they get to approve their own planes for safety. Great.
Yep, that's right, guys. Good stuff.
Watch those door plugs. Let's watch those door plugs.
Let's see. So what are we looking at, ladies and gentlemen? Are you guys in any trades right now? Let me know if you guys are in any trades right now, if you want us to cover anything, and tell me why you're in those trades. Are you bullish, bearish? What's giving you that bias, and what are you trading? Right now, like I said, myself, I have second monitor. I have 4 monitors. One to my left, I have gold up, and I'm waiting for a possible retrace to the 3805s on gold for long positions. Until then, we just have to stay patient. Bearish on gold. Be careful being bearish on gold, because gold has been bullish and has been pricing in the what's it called? The Fed rate cuts, the 25 BPS. Gold's at all-time highs, real close to all-time highs, at least right now. So trend is our friend. We're making higher highs. We're making higher lows. I would not look to short gold right now. Definitely not. Looks like Amazon's ready. It's the end of wave 2. We can take a look at Amazon. And don't forget, guys, gold, GC futures. If you're looking to trade gold, that would be GLD. Let's see, Amazon. I had a key level on Amazon at this 218 and 227. I'm surprised to see it break below 227. That is major. I was really hoping it was creating a higher low right here off of that 227, but it ended up failing, creating a lower high, and we broke lower since then. At this point, we don't really have much demand below us, so I would possibly look to see if Amazon wants to make its way down to 214, even the next pivot down at 212. Below 212, however, we do have support sitting at 209 to about 205. This was an area that was support in the past. When we were below it, it was resistance. Above it, it was support. That's what we're looking for. Gold is crowded. You know what it is? It's like gold is crowded, but it's really just, it's a consistent, clean trend. When you're able to spot it and find it, the way it moves is real nice. Just an FYI. Costco is dropping like it's hot. We can take a look at Costco and see if it's got any samples for us to buy. Big
silver lags gold, so I'm still anticipating silver to climb higher. I think it's going to break over the 2011 high.
Nice. Let's see. Actually, hold up. I'm going to pull up. Gold is pulling back right now as we speak towards that area. Now, the reason I was considering longs there is because we have right here the low volume shelf around 3806. So right over there. Plus, this low volume shelf, we have these pivots right above it. So if we could stop those people out and then hold support, what happens, guys, and I'm sure many of you have gone through it, you get stopped out of a trade and then markets continue in your favor. When we're trying to find an entry, try to see where people would be stopped out. If I'm looking for a long entry, I want to also think to myself, If I was already in a long, where would my stop loss be? If I was in a short position and I'm about to enter a long, where would my stop loss and take profit be? Being able to answer those questions could really give you some clarity and insight into where a good entry could be. I agree. Gold is the king. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, he's 100% right about what he's saying there. The entire world is having a debt crisis. The entire world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the metals are going to continue higher.
Yep. And silver, I like that you mentioned silver. Silver's not only lagging behind gold, but the value it's at versus how gold is valued is way below and way behind, sort of. So it could have good room, good momentum, and a good opportunity for a good return on investment over gold, whereas gold is just a very clean, easy trend up on that. Take a look.
You had a real opportunity to load up on silver back in April, because if you looked at what was happening with the gold silver ratio, it was over 100, which is exceedingly high for that ratio. That's a great sign to that silver was going to go higher. Now the gold silver ratio has been coming in as silver climbs to narrow that gap. It's like a 16. Gold is typically 16 times more expensive than silver. So the more that you move away from that range, where if the gold silver ratio climbs higher, that's an indication that silver is really lagging behind gold and that it's due to climb. So as we're seeing gold and silver, the gold silver ratio lower as it's doing right now, that run that silver's having is going to start to slow down.
Yep. Guys, great point. David just mentioned in the chat, look at monthly on gold. It's too extended. Guys, it's important to look at higher time frames, monthly, daily, weekly, but don't how am I trying to word this? Don't convince yourself we're too extended, we have to pull back. Always trade with the trend. Yes, it looks like we're extended right now, but at this point, there is no reversal. This is a big green candle. This is continuation candle. This is continuation candle. So I would still look, and especially because I'm a day trader, I look to just follow the trend. So that's just something, my perspective on it, my thought on it. It's currently range bound, chopping between these lows and these highs. So if we could try to buy those lows and get out towards those highs, that would be ideal, because we are, like I said, in that bull trend. Let's see, DVLT. Yeah, let's take a look. DVLT, is that giving us anything yet?
As far as the movers go, it looks like they're starting to turn around here. BIAF, WAI, and MRM are coming off of their lows. BIAF is actually halted to the upside, halted right just underneath VWAP. So some of these names certainly trying to turn around here.
Yeah, no, looks good. Guys, what a great session today. It is 10:42. We have Anne-Marie joining us soon. Really great stuff. 13, thank you, of course, for being here and hosting the show with me.
Absolutely. It's always a good time to be on here with you. And I really do like it when we have you and me and Ryan on. I love the dynamic. It's great.
No, dude, it really is, because it gives different perspectives, gives good conversation, a little bit good back and forth about the stocks, different perspectives on it as well, which we could take advantage of. So yeah, it's a pleasure, and you guys could always feel free to hit me up when you want me on.
Excellent.
Guys, don't forget, hit that like button if you love our show today. We've got about 340 of you in here. Let's run that like button. We're at 230. I love to see it. Would love to see us hit 300 today. That would be wild. Crocs would be something that personally, I would look to buy and hold right now and see if that Sydney Sweeney ad wants to give us that reaction like it has in the past. Other than that, I'm not really seeing too much. Let's see. Crocs.
Crocs looks like it's going to go higher. It just looks
It does. And it's, again, one of those situations where, look, we're at the bottom of our range. Mm-hmm. This was the point of consolidation. This is the top of our range. So you'd buy the lows, sell the highs. Now we're buying the lows with some type of news or catalyst, which would be the Sydney Sweeney ad. That would help support us. We always want those confluences. Confluence also falls into our news catalysts. That could be a great opportunity for a nice return on Crocs here. And again, if you're trading to the top of the range, you're getting in here at 77 and out at 165, over 100% return on investment is wild on stock. And again, just trading the range.
What do you think about $80 as the next resistance area? Because that seems like, based on the price action earlier this week, that seems to be about where the next resistance is.
Yeah, great. Good call on that. Let's see. So that 80 is a fantastic. I have a key level at 95. More recent, like you mentioned, though, this 80 area. You know what it is? It's a little too tight for me. If anything, that would help me sort of find that entry. So I see 82 to 80 right over here.
There you
And
go.
this, yep, there we go, was resistance. Then above it, we were support. Below it, we were resistance. So yeah, this could work out really well,
Fantastic.
actually. Yeah, you see that? Let's see. I don't know why my path went away. But if we could break above that and hold above it, we'll look for it to work as support again, right? And that would be our long entry, and then we would look to target highs. So that would be a great way to sort of dictate Crocs without buying these lows and hoping it goes higher, right? Let it give you the market structure where we create a higher high off of this low, this higher lower high right here, and then retest and go up.
And you'd have a W-shaped recovery with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even see that. Good call.
Now we were just mentioning BIAF and those other movers from this morning. BIF unhalted, went up above 7 and is halted again. This thing is starting to fly.
Just a little FYI, gold did hit our area of that low volume. So I took one contract. I'm in one contract gold right now, giving it one more shot. And if it stops me out, I'm stopped out. But I'm really just looking to trade that trend, right? So we'll see. It hit my area. And now it's trying to hold. Just trading the trend, being patient, and I'll let you guys know how that plays out.
Lion silver broke the 2011 high, which should be the 100-year high or the all-time high. I'm pretty sure it's in the 48s, and we're still in the 45s. Let me know what you're seeing, because I thought we're almost there, just not quite there yet.
Gold's struggling here, but it's still chopping around this level. My stop loss is at 94.06, 3804.8. Excuse me. Too many numbers, too many dots. Let's see. GC, put this here for a moment, and then we'll come back to our other chart. SLV, we can look at silver. Yeah, I'm thinking gold might go for a stop out. It has been choppy for a little bit. SLV, well, we would look for SL for silver futures. No, we wouldn't. Isn't it SI?
You want to here's another, since we're on the subject of metals, here's another one that we might want to take a look at here, and this is going to be off of the war in between Russia and Ukraine, because when that started happening, there was a number of commodities that started to sink, and as I recall, palladium was one of them. Now, if you look at a palladium chart, like here's an ETF, PALL, this hit a peak in March off of the invasion news, and then it just completely sold off. But now it's starting to turn around here. So thought this might be something interesting to keep an eye on if we get any kind of resolution out of that Ukraine-Russia war. Just something to think about.
Yeah. Gold with a stop out, man. Poor price action today all around, guys. Out of BIAF for green. Good job, Linda. Let's take a look at BIAF.
Now, Quantum, what's with the soybeans? Because I know that right now our agricultural industry for soybeans in the U.S. is getting hit pretty hard since China decided they were going to buy from Argentina. And I think, and I know that there's a potential catalyst here if China does end up buying more soybeans as part of the trade deal, that they could be it could be really good. So I'm kind of there with you that soybeans might be good, but we haven't gotten any indication yet that this trade negotiation is going to result in China buying more of them. So if you have more information on that, please share it with us, because I'd love to know. It's something I've been watching.
Yeah, cool. Guys, check it out. BIAF, guys, we had a call out earlier. What did we say? 536 stop at the low. We held that volume profile low, and boom. That is awesome. There we go.
Yeah, and now we're coming up to the resistance areas from this morning here. Actually, with this halt, this might actually be the highest close we have in a candle so far this morning. It just depends, we'll have to see what ends up happening after we unhalt. But we're going to be beyond this candle when we unhalt. So this is going to be the first close we have above looks like 7.
Yeah, this is nice, dude. That's awesome. Huge.
$19.80, it hit in 1980. I have a price of 35.28 that it hit in 1980.
Let's see.
Do you have a
1980.
link? Do you have a link for? I mean, what are you looking at for the price of silver, spot price? That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at spot price. So if you've got something different, let me know where you're getting that from. I'm just curious.
Let's see. Are you asking me or are you asking chat?
I'm asking Lion. He's saying the record high for silver was in 1980. The price at $50, and according to the chart that I'm looking at here, it was only in the 30s, the 35 dollars that it went up to. So just wondering if that spot price that he's got there, if there's something else, like if it was if it was a fund or something. Just let me know what you're getting the data so I can look.
Yo, this weak dollar should be helping support gold. See how dollar's selling off? I want to see gold continue higher off of that dollar sell-off there, but
BIAF is open and it pulled, but it's still getting support from VWAP at the moment. This thing's got a lot of volatility in it right now.
Nice.
Looks like ELBM is also trying to turn back up here. Got to get through the 200 and the 65 EMAs. WAI trying to get back above, what is this, the 470 area that we were looking at for support.
Yep. Let's see, BA. Which one you say? The BIAF?
That was I was talking about BIF, and I just mentioned WAI as far as the 470 level goes.
Gotcha. Let's see. Yeah, I see that. WAI failed through our low volume area. I mean, it's still a hit low volume. It's chopping around right now. I don't see any setups on WAI. Let's see, market pull 13. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Hope you guys are having a great trading day. I think, what was the one we just went over? Somebody said they exited for green. I think it was the BIAF. Yeah, that one looks good. That was a solid setup. What else do we got? Let's see. What's the story on EPMS? EPSM. Guys, it is 10:50. We're wrapping this up shortly. We've got the lovely Anne-Marie joining us soon, going over some charts, some stocks, and everything in between, and options, of course. EPSM, are you sure it was EPSM? I'm not seeing too much going on there. Daily time frame. It gave us something this day, but that was about it. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, thanks, Lion. I'll look at that.
DVLT.
Market pull. Let me see here. Now, did we run up to that 660 area and SPY and get rejected? Because it's looking like that's probably what happened here. Let me see. We went a little bit higher. We went as high as 662.37 and backed off. Now we're getting some support from a previous all-time high that was just beneath the 659.11 one. If we lose this, then I think we'll probably end up trading. Well, it looks like 657 might be a support area, but I don't know we'll hold that. I think we could end up testing those lows we did yesterday if we start to sell off here and lose that 657 level.
Yeah.
No, I did, Line. I did. I don't see that it was. It was okay. So I'll get into that later. But it was. I was looking at what you were talking about there, Line, and it doesn't look like it hit 50 exactly, but it did on the COMEX. Anyway, I'll look. I'll read more into that later, and I'll. But anyway, I still think we could get back up. We could get back up to those levels. Certainly seems like it's possible.
Yeah. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, how's the SPY and QQQ trading right now? I believe they've also been a little sideways today. Yeah, look at this, guys. Markets opened. We rallied off support. They found resistance. Look at this, guys. Perfect area of resistance right here. That's amazing. Yep. We had this drawn out since pre-market. That's beautiful. Kevin, what platform is Trading with Kev on? That is on Instagram. Trading with Kev on Instagram. You guys could live trade with me Monday through Friday at bullishbears.com. I do go live for free on YouTube Monday and Friday at Bullish Bears YouTube. But definitely keep it with Benzinga, guys. You got great content here, great work. Absolutely love to see it. I'm more of a futures trader, but obviously any analysis we do, technicals, fundamentals, they all come full circle, right? If I do technical analysis on SPY, it's going to line up with the ES. If I do technical analysis on anything, we're marking out pivots, we're marking out support, resistance, we're using volume. Girls spy on me there. All right, listen, if you don't do Instagram, that's fine. You guys can follow me on X. That is Trade with Kev. No trading. Trade with Kev. What?
Yeah, no, it's just funny that Zach was saying, because yeah, they really do turn into archaeologists because of their ability to dig up the past. So yeah, I totally get that when it comes to Instagram.
That's funny.
Take care, Lion. Have a good weekend. I'll see you Monday.
Absolutely, guys. Our pleasure. Our pleasure. Always happy to help. Send messages. Let us know. And I do a lot of work with the Benzinga Instagram as well, guys. All right, tennis taking a red day. First red day in tennis. It happens, dude. Listen, me too. I was on a streak Monday through Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
I just had my first red day today. It happens. It's going to happen. It's how we manage it. Did you keep your loss small enough that you're still in profit?
Yeah.
You don't want to take one losing day and have that losing day take over even 2 winning days. You should have the way I set it up myself. The Zach, the producer, sent it right above. But the way I handle winners and losers and the way I structure myself in terms of having my winners surpass the losers is I'll have like a daily goal of anywhere of, well, it used to be 500. I recently upped it to about 700, but a daily loss of 400. So if I take a full losing day, I'm not giving back everything I just made. And even if you keep your red days as the same as your winning days, as long as you have more winning days than losing days, you're in the green. But risk to reward, risk management plays such a crucial role in being able to stay in the game for the long term. Absolutely. You guys got it.
Are you green for the week, though, tennis?
That's what matters, man. Are you green for the week? Green for the month? Green forever? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I like to look at things sometimes on a weekly basis. You know, sure, we're going to have these red days from time to time, and that, you know, it happens to me too.
Yeah.
But you know, if you end up green for the week, then at least you can go into the weekend knowing that you did what you had to do. You were successful, and you're going to come back and you're going to do the same damn thing again next week.
That's
excellent.
Right,
green for the week.
Right. Good job, tennis. Good job, man. Proud of you, dude. Good controlling. And you know what, too, guys? You have to be proud of yourselves when you're able to control those losses, because that's what the 90% of traders are failing to do. People don't lose money in trading because they get the direction wrong all the time. No, the odds are people are always getting the direction right. It's the people that cut their winners too short, that add to their losers, extend their stop loss even further than they initially had it, so they're risking more on the trade. Those are the people that are losing money in the market. It's fairly easy to spot a trend in the market, but it's not that easy to hold a trade and wait for your entry. Yo, absolutely. Shady, have a great weekend. Sorry, 13. What were you going to say?
Take care, Shady. Smoke Tuna is mentioning that DVLT will go. This is trying to break a trend line right now that we established from the price action this morning in the regular session. Got a big seller in the way at 130. We need to see some volume expand here in order to take out all these sellers that are in the way. Got one at 130, one at 135, big one at 150. We need to see some volume pick up here to get through this trend line here and through these sellers.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, great stuff today. Give yourselves a round of applause, too. What a fantastic audience today. You guys are doing great. GG, good game. Absolutely, guys. Treat the market like a video game, right?
I mean, you know, some of these stocks, you're pretty much playing a video game. You're in a casino with a lot of these. If we're being completely honest, some of these things are just literal slot machines.
Mainly the China stocks.
Sure, yeah.
The AI stocks are just an easy scratch off. Let's see. It's all about the entry. Try to get a good entry. Just be patient. Don't buy the highs, buy the lows. Yep. Like, listen, right on gold, right? I took those trades. I took losses today, and now it's looking like it's finally, it's going to hold my favor. It's going to hold my direction, but it stopped me out already. I cannot force the trade. I cannot enter up here. It stopped me out too many times. I hit my daily loss, and I just got to take it for what it is. Because guess what? tomorrow's a new day. And if it's Friday, Monday's a new day.
That's right. And my new day tomorrow is going to be a lot of me putting feet up.
You know it.
What is the name for the Platt ETF? PALL. And there's probably some other ones out there too, but I think the way this is starting to turn back up, and we have the news of, it seems to be like there's a really big push to try to get this Ukraine war ended. But there also could be some conflict here with NATO and the U.S. So we'll see what ends up happening. But it's just one of the metals that really initially spiked and then just really drifted lower following the outbreak of that war. So looking like it's starting to turn around here.
Looks good. Looks good. Last thing I'll answer, Tennis asks, so you never try to make it back? That's a great question, right? So I have my set daily loss, but if I take so this is again where everything comes in circle. I have a system where if I take one losing trade, I'm allowed to take another. If I take two losing trades, I have to size down on my third. If I lose all three of those trades, guess what? I hit my max daily loss. I'm done for the day. But I still have an opportunity 3 times to make my money back if I took, 2 times after the first trade. But if I'm green on that first trade, we're consistent, we're good. I'll probably stay the same size and look to keep trading that trend. But it's important that we manage our winners and losing days. Guys, on that note, again, round of applause to you all. Hit that like and subscribe. 13, thank you so much for being here today. What a fantastic trading day.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a really good day. Despite having a lot of polls here in the market, we still had some pretty good price action. I look forward to seeing what next month or next week is going to give us. And you know what, folks? It is at 10 o'clock time. I'm going to get off here so that Anne-Marie can get on. Have a great time with her and Kevin. I'll see you folks on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Goodbye.
Take care, 13. Guys, we're bringing on the one and only, the amazing Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, where are you at? Let's bring them on.
Hi. How's it going?
Going good. How are you doing?
Good. It's a ponytail Friday.
Oh, man. It's funny. I used to have long hair. I would have matched you. I'll put this up. That's awesome. So listen.
Some big price action today.
Yep, absolutely. So you got the ponytail up. I'm assuming that means you're coming full throttle with the technicals today. Oh, I think we're losing you there a little bit. Yeah? Awesome.
Let's get
awesome.
The
all right. So,
up.
Yep, I'll leave it to you guys. Have a great day. Hit that like and subscribe and show Anne-Marie some love. I'll see you all next time.
All right. Taking a look at the broad market, we've got ourselves. Woo! I'm here by myself. This is exciting. We're here staring down the charts and seeing that we've got a little bit of a risk off kind of day. Utilities are up. Staples are taking a little bit of a bounce, but discretionary still holding. We can see some rotation out of tech. I want to show you something super interesting in the price action. We're going to go to SPY just for a hot minute to see what's hanging on right here. And I want to show you what the traders did this morning. So like Kevin, I also trade the future space. And so I tend to look at the SPY. Whoops, let me take care of this again. Let's see what we got. I tend to look at the SPY as a chart that really just gives me a broad outlay of the market, but I will look at the future space most of the time. So this morning, before we opened up, we had a negative 12,000 delta. And so what that means is when the delta is negative, it means that shorts are positioned. And I see a private chat note here. Okay. All right. So what we are looking at is a morning where we came in after a PCE number that was in line. It wasn't overly hot or anything like that. And the traders in the futures for big money, what they've been doing is unwinding their any kind of long position they've built up. They will unwind it at every single bounce. And so today was really the big bounce we were looking for that would come up over this accumulation zone. So I tend to look at the markets in terms of accumulation and distribution. And so here we accumulated for 4 days, went from the bottom to the top, back down to the bottom, dropped out under bullish pressure. So the first thing we're inclined to do is buy the dip. And so this morning, when that news came out, they bought the dip into that 662, but now they are back underneath that area of inventory accumulation. My suspicion is that they continue to liquidate and sort of framework another area of support. And we can see that with very big trading formations to the downside. I want to show you some of the pictures that I took today. Let me see if I can pop this out. Let's go. And I'll tell you why I am looking at this. And I'm looking at this simply because what I suspect is that the markets and the traders are so used to buying the dip that the second they see the dip, they're going to start running into the trade. And so this morning, we unwound our liquidity. And let me show you this. This
I like that chart.
Yeah, it's a bookmap chart essentially, but it's inside of Motive Wave. And as soon as we hit the top of that range, look at all the sellers. They unwound all their short positions and then turned around and opened them all back up. And so that's what we're looking at underneath the current. That's what we're seeing in general. And so for this reason, it makes me think we are in a space where we've got some more liquidation to go. I was talking to Tim, Melvin, and Ryan the other day about sell Rosh Hashanah and buy Yom Kippur. And Rosh Hashanah started on Tuesday, right? Really Monday at 6 p.m. And it doesn't end until, I think, Monday or Tuesday, maybe Wednesday of next week, somewhere like whatever the 2nd of October is, right? So that's what we're staring down. And we're in the most seasonally weak week of the markets. But here's the sweet spot. Right after this lull makes a great buying opportunity. So what we want to think about are who we like, who's pulled back, and who's got room to run. And so we know tech, we know those are going to be moves. If any of you have any thoughts on things, I'll be very happy to look them over if you put them in the chat. Let me open up the chat here so I can see it. Great. And then that will give me some ideas for you if you're looking for something specific. All right. So let me show you one of the biggest trades that's going to open up for a longer period of time. If you're the quick snap trader, you're going to go, well, I don't want to take anything that long, but we're going to look at Fastenal. Look at how well this chart has done while the market has been selling off for the last 3 days. Compare that to the SPY. Let me show you again. Right? Is that SPY? Okay. So here's SPY. It's been rolling off into support, but Fastenal is holding steady. it's rotating up inside of this market that is relatively weak. So the seasonality says, listen, Fastenal gives us, if we hold it for a period of days, and let me see what that looks like. Wow. Over the last 10 years, if you held Fastenal from today until May, actually, you know what? We could do this until March. Every 10 years, it's given us a return, and that return's average has been 19% with a median of about 15%. So 10%, $4.80, 15%, let's say it's $6. So longer term trade, this will make you money while you're doing other things. And so what we want to do is go to March and look for something that gives us about $6 of motion to the upside. And that looks like 52.50 to me, right? So easy way to do it is to consider the long call spread, 52.50 call to 57.50. It costs $1.20. The upside is going to be $5 minus $1.20. That's $3.80. That's 2.5x. So who doesn't want to make 250% return? All right. The next thing that you can do is say, well, I wouldn't mind selling some premium so that I can get a little bit of profit. That gives us, if we do the same thing, we get 122 of a credit. It goes from 45 to 40. So we're expecting the price action not to lose 45. 45 is way down here from the breakout in July. So that's a very nice trading space to sit. And then if your credit holds, right, and we don't have any dips that continually fade, we're going to have the full $500 of return right here on that spread. Very, very nice. If you want to take something that's maybe a little bit more, involved, you might consider the butterfly, and you take the 47.50, it's in the money, right? And then you take the 55s, and then, whoa, that price action doesn't look very good. That's $2.10. It gives us about the same risk to return, which is why I said, hey, listen, why not just buy the call spread particularly, right? If you are an aggressive trader like me and you like to do things like collect premium in front of a position, you could always take the 55 calls and sell 2 of the 57.50 calls, and you get that for a 32-cent credit, and you get the $250 for the space between 55 and 57. So that's also a nice trade. That's the first one. The second one that's got tremendous upside on a shorter time period is Broadcom. Now, Broadcom it's been a beast. It's pulling right back into the floor of support. It's holding very nicely. It has a gap, right? But what we want to give it about is 100 days. I think that might be 100 days. So over the last 10 years, if we hold it at least 97 days, this price action returns a median of 20%. 20%. So that's pretty significant. And so we would hold September to mid-December. So we'd be looking at the December formations. Let's take a look at that one. If we look at Broadcom, it's done a really nice job of pulling back for us. We'll wait for the data to populate. Let me close that trade grid. So we'd be looking at the December spreads. Average gain of almost 20%. So that's an average gain of almost it's $66, $65. That's huge. Now notice December's premium is pricing in that exact amount. And so I like that, particularly because those two things are aligning. Here we would do a butterfly. As I scroll down all the strikes, let's go do that a little faster, right? So what would we expect? We would expect something that moved from 330 to potentially 390, right? That's the top end of the range. So I would like for that to be the middle strike for my butterfly. And so I'm going to make it 20 wide. I'm going to take the 370. I'm going to sell two 390s. And I'm going to buy one 410s. It's $1.18. $2,000 of potential upside for the cost of $118 exposure. Oops, that's March. We need to go to December. It's probably a little bit more expensive. It's $150. Great positioning here. Full disclosure, I have this position. A lot of ways to play this. You could also trade it in another way that I am trading it, and I am buying the 410s and selling two of the 420s. Now, that does require a fair bit of margin, but it also gives me an $1,120 cushion. And for goodness sakes, Anne-Marie, you're still in the wrong contract. I was wondering, I was like, I did not collect that much. So, okay, so what this one gives you in is $320. Now, you could go into March and not have a bad time of it, to be honest, because the price action really sort of grinds upward into April before it takes a lull. I mean, you could actually do that one if you're so inclined. The one I took was the 420. It gave me $320, but here's how it works. If price action begins to run like the wind and gets closer area, and it comes into but does not break 420, I'm going to make $2,000 to the upside, a $3, and I'm taking the risk. If it does go to adjust, I may come back if it does like that and buy the 430s so that I can at least capture a piece of this $10 spread upward.
Oh, we're hit with a little bit of a lag there.
Put spread.
There she is.
Hey, I'm selling a put spread. Support. Maybe 280. You could sell the 270 put spread, and it'll give you a really nice return from that perspective. I have for that. Now, for those of us who don't want to look at things so far ahead and are thinking, hey, how?
Ta-da! What happened? Let's see. Oh, no. All right. So it seems like Anne-Marie has lost connection. So I do apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it looks like she reconnected. Bring her right back on. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Anne-Marie. Are you there? We'll pause her for a second. We'll wait till she comes on back on the screen. Guys, if you want to see any charts in the meantime, please let me know. When she comes back, I do know that some of you were mentioning you wanted to see a possible Crocs position because of that Sydney Sweeney ad this morning. We saw last time she did an ad for a company, American Eagle, did very well. Well, let's see if Crocs wants to give us the same opportunity. Let me see if Anne-Marie is back rocking and rolling. Anne-Marie, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Am I back?
You're back.
All
We're
right,
back in
great.
action.
I know. Benzinga, you're so right. Somebody parachute Anne-Marie a Starlink. Yeah, I am so disgusted right now.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll pick up right where you left off. So tell us about the spreads you were looking at. Where were we at? Or you want to start fresh on Crocs is up to you.
Sure, let's start fresh on Crocs.
Completely your call. If you want to keep going with what you were doing, I loved what you were presenting to us.
Yeah.
All right. Cool beans.
Yeah, I love Crocs. And
we're gonna have to send you a Benzinga sponsored
very
Starlink.
annoying. I know.
Guys,
Put
let's
that in
encourage
the works for me, would
Anne-Marie.
you?
What's that? Yeah. Guys, let's encourage Anne-Marie. It's okay. Lag happens. Bad internet happens. Hit that like button for her anyways. It's still a pleasure having her on every week.
You're the best, Kev. You really are. All right. So can you see Crocs?
Yes, we can.
All right. So let's take a look at this one from a bigger picture perspective. Let's go from a weekly. Okay, chart. And what we can see, it's at the base of the floor. Let me do a little seasonality study on Crocs right now, and let's see what it tells son-in-law that wears these. And I have no idea why people wear these. I know a lot of people love them, but all right. So over the last, let's go, Crocs 18 years, and it does reality into, let's see, month that is. Late November. Am I back?
Yeah, we're good.
Jeez. Okay, so it does not have good seasonality until late November. And so let's, if we stare this down, we can see here's
one of the reasons
take a
people were
look what's
pointing.
going on with Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. You know what it is? It froze on my end, so I didn't know if you paused for a second. But I was just mentioning people brought up Crocs this morning because Sydney Sweeney was in an ad for them this morning. And we saw on American Eagle the last time she was present in an ad showing off a product, specifically clothing. It tends to do well. You there? Hello. Am, are you there? Test, 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, do appreciate your patience on today's session with Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, when you're back, you let us know, and we'll get that ball rolling. And she's gone. Guys, that's all right. It happens. If you want, I'll share my screen real quick. We'll do a quick little breakdown on Crocs for us in the meantime. In a few minutes, we will be bringing on the wonderful Sandy. Oh, wait, is Anne-Marie back? You guys are giving me quite the mission right now.
I'm telling you. I am telling you. Okay, so if we take a look at Crocs, it's got seasonality that does not look very good into the end of November. Here's what we've noticed. Take a look at earnings and what's happened. We had a reversal off the earnings move and then a bad earnings report and then a reversal off the earnings move and then it gave it all back, and a reversal off the earnings move and then it gave it all back, and a reversal off the earnings move, and now we're coming into this area. So I don't like this as a bullish play at this juncture, right? So if we said, hey, let's take a look at, let's look at 10 years instead of 3. Right? See if it gives us any idea where the floor is. Okay, so we've got a floor at about 50, maybe 45. We've got a lot of inventory accumulation between 80 and 67. So if you want to be aggressive, you could sell the put. These guys don't gather heat until really the summer months, it looks like. So they're a little bit sideways. They'll move up, they'll pull back down. They'll move up, they'll pull back down. So the nice trade might be you wait for the earnings event, and then whichever way the earnings candlestick moves,
Go the inverse.
go the inverse. That's exactly right. Move in the opposite direction, because we can see that is what the traders are doing. And so if it pops up into 92 and you've been long, you take profit, open up a short. And if it moves deeply down, you take a look at putting in a long. If you want to trade in between that and you're staring it down into January or so, you know, if you're bullish, listen, if you're bullish, okay? And so there are a lot of ways to do that. You could go 80 to 90 and say, hey, I don't care what your chart says. I'm going to take that butterfly. It's $158 to get in. It's got $1,000 of upside, less what you pay for it. If you're a little bit more aggressive and you go, well, I could, because there's a pretty good amount of volatility in here. You could do a 1 by 3, which is you buy the 80, you sell 3 95s, and then you buy yourself 2 100s. And so what it does is give you $1,500 of upside. It costs twice as much. So it might be better just to buy twice as many of the 80, 90, 100s, as opposed to eking out 5 more points here. Although you will, if this thing goes to 150, the bottom butterfly here will at least secure you $500, right? This one, if it goes to 150, you're going to lose your full debit. So if you say, hey, well, why don't I sell a call spread? I can sell the 60-65 call spread, collect a little bit of cash. I always like looking at where, this is Crocs. I always like looking at ways that I can draw money out of the market and use less of my own money. I use the options chains to give me money to make more money. So I like that a lot.
That's good. I like that too.
All right. Anything else? I saw somebody say Lattice Semiconductor. Is that what LA? No, that's Lithium America. Did somebody say that? Yes or no?
Your chart's ringing.
I know. They're going insane. So it's telling me that a momentum event has occurred. And so I use ChatGPT to build it, and it's really great at telling me where momentum is. But take a look at this. This has been in an inventory accumulation event since May 20th of 2024. And it just broke out right this week. I don't know what the lithium news is. It's obviously big. And it's moved up. Remember how to use inventory accumulation. You go from the top to the bottom. You draw yourself a Fibonacci, and it gives you the extensions. Now notice the 250 extension is just about where this chart faded. So where might be a good idea to get into this position? Maybe try and sell a 450 put. Let's have a look at that.
Anne-Marie, we'll wrap this up real quick. It is 11:30.
Yes. Oh gosh, Sandy's behind me.
Yes.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love it.
But thank you so much for being here.
Yeah. Thank you. And I'm sorry I put you in a position where you were like, oh, I gotta tell her to shut up. Oh, I know that feels bad.
No, don't even worry about it. There's some internet issues. It happens.
All right,
right?
You guys. Yeah, I know. It's the bane of my existence. So enjoy time with Sandy. She's smart. She's witty. And she's always coming with great ideas. Kev, thanks so much for having me. Thank you, Benzinga family. Love you guys. I'll see you
Always
soon.
A pleasure. Take care, Anne-Marie.
Take care. Bye-bye.
And guys, run that like button up. Get excited because we are bringing on the one and only Sandy now. Sandy, how's it going? Hello and welcome.
Today.
Hey, good. I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you doing? Happy Friday.
Anne-Marie. That was so sweet of her.
Of
She's super, super sweet.
Yeah,
you got anything going on this weekend?
Not really. Probably just kick the feet up. Had a pretty good trading week. Take it easy. How about yourself?
Not too bad. No, just relaxing myself. I hurt my hip. I'm feeling like an old lady. I am gonna just keep it low key this weekend.
Good. That's what weekends are for.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I'll let you take over. Have a great show, and everybody show some love for Anne-Marie and now Sandy. Take care, everybody.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fits-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Guys, welcome Friday. Looking forward to it, actually, to just kind of decompress a little bit. Looking at a couple names today. Let's take a look at the overall market. Let's get into some strategies. Got some great questions about the opening range breakout from last couple weeks ago. So I want to get into that. So let's take a look. We got NVIDIA that's not looking too good, Meta. However, if you take a look at the financials as well as the industrials, healthcare, remember healthcare is more of a risk off, right? We can see some money going into healthcare. We've been talking about September being kind of this month with a lot of volatility, as well as the big institutions rebalancing, right, their portfolios. And we really haven't seen that volatility come up. We've only just seen us just go higher and higher and higher, all-time highs. Finally, got a little bit of a pullback. And I think just now we're starting to see that rebalancing. So we have money going into healthcare, energy, utilities, right, guys? Everything on this side, right, of the market watch on Thinkorswim, really kind of letting you know about, hey, money's kind of going into those sectors. Those are really the defensive sectors when money's looking for a good place to sit. And you could see where information technology like NVIDIA, Microsoft, look at AMD, AVGAO, Apple, all dark, right? Red. So now we're looking at money actually moving from the information technology sector to other areas. And if you're not familiar, you can see that the financials as well as communication services outside of Meta, though, right? Meta's not looking too healthy right here. And so now we're starting to see basically some money moving into some protected areas like healthcare, energy, utilities. Why does it matter, guys? Because those are the areas when we are, basically slowing down in the economy. We have holidays coming up. We got institutional rebalancing happening. And so now you see more money moving away from technology. Could that change though? Absolutely, that can change, right? And then right now we see consumer staples not really doing all that much, right? We got Walmart, Costco, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, not really doing too much here, but we should see this pick back up for what? Possibly the Santa rally, right? So we typically see the sector rotation. We're seeing a little bit of it right now. And what are materials doing? Look at materials down here, guys. Looking really good on materials as well. In fact, I just saw some institutional flow in FCX. So we'll take a look at some of the charts, get into some of the strategies, maybe put on a automated trade and then go from there. So looking at, one of the leaders here as far as, what Apple does, the market does. And look at what Apple's doing. Apple looks really good on a daily right now. And you could see that on a day chart, we're up at resistance right here, really. That's, identified by this red shaded area. So you can see that we've been just going sideways. We've just been going sideways. I had an automated trade and it just triggered. Don't you just love that when you don't have to pay attention to anything? Hence, I teach automation over at tradingmadesimple.org. Okay, so you can see that Apple right now is at resistance. And look at how many days it's been at resistance. And what do we typically do when we're at resistance? Well, it usually kind of consolidate. And after consolidation, either comes accumulation, which means that we're going to break out, or distribution, which means that we're going to come back down and start testing lower levels of support. It's just the way the market ebbs and flows. Once you just kind of resign yourself to this fact, it makes learning this so much easier. And regardless of what I talk about on any time frame, it actually matters because what I see on a day chart and the way that I look at a day chart, there is no difference if I'm looking at a 5 minute, a 15, a 1 hour. So the way that I analyze any chart on its time frame is the same way that I would do it on any other time frame. So it looks like we have Apple hitting resistance. Let's take a look at FCX. This is really into more of the metals. Now, it looks like you can see where apparently on a previous time that I've looked at this chart, making a trend line on a day, we passed it, but really not really, having a ton of momentum. Momentum is still below the zero line, yet I do see option flow going into FCX for January of 26. So this could be actually a longer time build when you have an expiration date so far out. That typically means that either a position is being started or money is being parked. Just think about that for a minute. So on a daily, we have a breakdown the last couple days. Looks like right now we have basically a double bottom on these 2 days. We call this a matching bottom when you see the candles just match each other almost perfectly. So we may get a bounce up. However, and I say a bounce up, not necessarily a trend change. So right now, even though this was consolidating, what do we do after consolidation? Accumulate or distribute. In this example, FCX distributed, right? Two big down days with a huge gap right here down. So it needs to recover. When could we see the recovery? When momentum gets above that zero line and when price gets above that 20 EMA is what I'm using. I love the 20. It just has a lot of confluence with all the other areas that I'm taking a look at. So, but when we take a look at FCX, where is support? As you can see, I'm outlining support all the way down here. Could this go any lower? It could. And you can see where I had made basically a trend line and we're coming right to it. So looking to see if this actually comes back up, kind of a reversion to the mean and then drops back down, right? Over here at this support level, because not looking too good here, I'd have to say. So this could be the start of institution just starting out of position. But I would definitely wait and see for this one. I wouldn't say that on a daily right now that this is bullish. Let's take a look at a weekly really quick. Wow, look at this, a huge engulfing candle to the downside. Not looking too good here. Momentum going down below that 100. That's when it really starts to pick up speed from momentum. Huge engulfing candle this week. Not looking good. Looking like we're actually going to possibly come down and maybe test some support. And you can see where we've had previous support right over here at the 2773 level. Could you automate a trade and say, hey, if we get down to this last low here that I want to get into a call for a bounce, we could do it like that. You know, certain ways that you could take a look at this, right? You could see on a Darvis as well. We broke through that Darvis on a weekly. This looks really weak on a weekly, actually. So you can see now I'm interested in this chart consolidating for a really long time and then a breakdown. So really looking for a bounce and look at that, you know, really close to that vertical trend line that I made. Let's take a look. What else did I see? I saw institutional flow going into Google. Google, you know, being communication actually has a lot of protections for recession. And the reason is remember that if there's a threat of a recession or a slowdown in our economy, what are the staples that you need at home that will, you know, make your life a little easier, right? You probably won't go for the discretionary stuff, but you need food, you need utilities. And I would say that communications, as far as a cell phone today, probably ranks up there. You know, we actually utilize our cell phones primarily now as our residence phone. Remember the hardwired phones? I don't think a lot of people have those anymore. So really, I think communication can see a bounce here if we start to get money flow into. And remember on Market Watch, let's take a look at that again. By the way, Market Watch on Thinkorswim is right up here. And then look at communication services. Not bad outside of Netflix and Meta. Not doing too bad, right? All the cell phone companies right here, guys. Disney, not a cell phone company. And I wouldn't, you know, Disney being in the Netflix genre, right, of services, doing streaming and so forth. Even that becomes discretionary if you lose your job. It's like, well, do I really need this, right? So just things to consider as far as we're moving forward with some uncertainty. So let's take a look now at INTC. A lot of money going into INTC. Recent deal here and news creating a little bit of a pump here. You could see that we had a gap up, came down, still a higher low, right? Not only did we have a double top, we broke the top. Now we have a new high. So if we come down lower then, right, we'll hopefully have a higher low. Isn't that what makes a trend, right? A high, a higher high, a higher high. And then your lows are a low, a higher low, a higher low. That's what makes that uptrend. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now on a daily. Really looking nice. And then look at these two engulfing candles. There's no retail traders in here. By the way, just real quickly, when you see small candles like this, just think it's indecision. When you see engulfing candles like this, it should make you think, oh, wait a minute here. We got some money going into here, because all of these big engulfing candles, they're created by institutional money, not retail traders. None of these candles are retail traders. All of this is institutional flow. So as you start to look at that, look at momentum, how beautiful it looked, came down, consolidated, and then popped right back up. So when we have consolidation, here's a great example of accumulation, and that's exactly what we did here. So on a weekly, looks beautiful. On a daily, still looks good, but we are hitting resistance. But you could see how momentum is leveling out. We could get some consolidation here before we find out if we're going to accumulate even more or start to distribute, right? And let's take a look at JD. JD had some really nice flow as well. Ooh, in consolidation on a daily in this one range. And what do you do for range trading when you see consolidation like this? If you can identify consolidation on your chart, you could just basically take those two levels and say, I'm not doing anything until it breaks out of this level for a long call, breaks down below this level for a put, right? Could you automate that? Absolutely. I'm seeing money flow calls going into JD. So just taking a look at this right now, it looks like maybe we have some bets for more accumulation. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Wow, wow. Really kind of consolidating, going sideways for a really long time. And then finally got that push up. So we have a high and we have a higher high. Here, though, as you can see, we had a low and then a lower low. So somewhat of a fake out. And then now we're here. A little bit hard to detect. I would really just use these levels, say a long call at 3607 or higher. And let's say 3280 thereabouts. If we go down lower from here, we could see 31. Well, that's not bad. 31 and then back to 30. And you can see that momentum made a shift here on the daily, guys. And you can see that momentum, right, kind of going down. So we had a high here in momentum. Let me show you this divergence really quick. You can see this high right here. And then all of a sudden, as you have this high, you can see that momentum is actually going lower. So as momentum is going lower, I want to just check something really quick. Yeah, that's all working. Just making sure here. So as we have momentum going lower here, you could see that price from here went higher. So when you see that divergence, and you can use any momentum indicator to show you kind of where momentum is located. And when you see this divergence, you don't know when it's going to happen. That's the only thing I don't like on divergences, is that you don't know when it's going to correct itself, but you'll know that it's time to correct. So as this is moving up, momentum's moving down, and it shouldn't be doing that, because momentum actually drives the price of JD, not the other way around. So as we take a look at that, very interesting. I don't think I would participate in JD unless we have either a breakdown here at 3280 thereabouts, or a break above here, 36, let's just say 20, 3620. And then you could get into a long call here. But as it stands right now with this divergence, to me, I think we might actually hit break below this Darvis band. That's on a daily. Let's look at a shorter time period. Shorter time period, went basically up for a day, down kind of 2 days. You could see we're in this wedge formation right here with these pivot high, pivot low vertical trend lines. And so we could actually come all the way back down to here. And you could see that the confluence actually matches these indicators. That's kind of why I only keep a couple on, because it's like, that's all you really need. And then let's look at pre-market. We were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Boy, I got a lot of emails from people wanting that pre-market indicator. Sandra at tradingmadesimple.org. So What's interesting about this indicator is you could also say, hey, look, you know what? We're just in a range today. Why would you want to get into a position where we're just going sideways? That's just going to eat up your money unless you take a debit spread. I prefer a debit spread when we're just going sideways in consolidation because you basically have a placeholder waiting for accumulation or distribution, right? And you're not losing a lot of value as it's going sideways. Where when you have a long call or a long put, you're losing your value if it's just going sideways. So you want to take that into consideration as you think about what kind of trade vehicle do I really want? Not really loving JD all that much. Really needs to kind of break out of this previous high to see some real conviction. So don't like it, actually, even though there is conviction on institutional flow, but keep an eye on it. I really think this is the easier setup that you can just do with a automated trade. Let's take a look at DDOG. Got some flow into DDOG today. So you can see that a lot of these, trades going sideways. And so institutions really are making their bets. We see that's a great way to choose a stock off of a scanner as an example to say, when are we going to get that powerful move? We always get a super powerful move after consolidation. And it's a crapshoot whether it's going to go higher or lower, right? You could look at sector rotation. You could look at institutional flow. You could look at those items to help you kind of forecast, is this going to be a breakout or a breakdown? You could also look at momentum down here below. As we're consolidating, is a momentum above that zero line or below it? So this is really nice. You could see this on a day chart. You have that wedge formation again. You'll see this on a lot of charts if you're mapping pivot points. I like pivot points. Pivot points basically tell you where the last high and low was. That's support and resistance, isn't it? And so as we take a look as an example on this chart, you could see the pivot high and from a pivot low making these vertical trend lines. And I love vertical trend lines. You could see that we hit this once, didn't break through, twice, 3 times, 4 times, broke through it a little bit, but still gaining some momentum here to get back into that wedge. Boy, that's some confluence. When you talk about confluence, it's just pieces of evidence that help you analyze the chart and say, is this what I'm seeing? So when you come knocking at the door, is this going to break down, or is this going to catch a bid and come back up to do a double top or break the top in this fashion and start to break out? DDOG actually looks interesting to me here. This is a nice area for a long. Why? Because DDOG is right at this pivotal vertical trend line. You could just say anything below, right? Today's low as an example, moving forward, I'm out of this. Or you could take the previous candle and say, and look where a Darvis is. If I break below this low, I'm out. But because we're here at 139 and Darvis's low is at 132, that's kind of a big area right there. I'm looking at the 20 because I love the 20. 20 is at 137.82. I could use that, right, as your stop loss. It's just cresting on a daily. Let's take a look at an hourly now that I think this is interesting. And it's even more interesting on an hourly. So as we take a look at an hourly, we could see that we broke above today's pre-market high. And what did we say about that strategy? Overnight, we have a range. And that range you should be using for the daytime. So when the daytime hours and the market opens, you already know what your range is. It's the pre-market high and low. And so as you can see, the low was here at 135.40. And at the open, we touched the low. You can't even make this up, guys. You touch the pre-market low and bounce right back up. We break above the pre-market high. This is really looking strong, actually. So let's re-examine on a smaller time frame. Really kind of staying above And you can see, by the way, the 1 hour opening range breakout identifying at 139.16. Ooh, that's even better. This is saying, now, typically speaking, on an opening range breakout, you have a lot of traders looking at smaller time frames because they're day traders. However, if you're a swing trader, you really want to see that 1 hour time frame and then look for a continuation of that move. So in this case on DDOG, it's a perfect example because we have the 1 hour. Let me put it back on a 1 hour. We have the 1 hour, which is this first bar. We have the high and the low, which is amazing, guys, because it actually is identifying some movement here. You could see that that high, by the way, confluence with that pivot trend line, right? It breaks above that 1 hour high, and now we're moving higher. And a lot of experienced traders use that 1 hour for swing trades. Could be a short swing trade going into Monday. I like this one. Can we do something automated here? Let's try it. So right now, we're looking at, let's see if it breaks through that 139.16. We're awfully close, right? So we could say, let's see, 138.33. That's actually not too bad either. We have momentum even on a 5-minute is up. So why are we looking at the smaller time frames? We're looking at a smaller time frame for an entry. So I typically like to do my swing trades like the last hour of the market because you can already have all this noise happening. Because after you've seen that, hey, on the 1 hour, this really looks good, then you can say, hey, this makes room for higher highs. Could you take something like a 30-minute though, and you see how this one candle on a 30-minute made its high today? So another strategy like the orb is taking the highest high of today and saying if it breaches above today's high, then I want to go long. And so you could use that 1 hour to say, wow, DDOG's going higher. And then you can take this high candle right here. Let me get the high. By the way, if you look right here while I'm hovering on that candle, you'll get to see where the high is, 140.20. I actually like that. So at 140.20, I want to get into a long call, and I would just bump it by 5 cents just so it could go just a tad bit higher. So let's go ahead and automate just a call. We won't do a stop loss on this, but just to say, hey, I want to get into a long call. If we breach 140.20, let's make it 25. So if I go over here to the trade tab, guys, take 7 days out, get over to a long call, I can then just say, hey, I want to buy a call. I'm going to come over here to program that call, which is the gear icon. When you click on the gear icon, it brings up the order rules. And as you can see from the order rules, the most important part of this, because you can do everything here on the front end here, it's this area that is the reason that you brought up the order form. So if I just hover, you can see this little gray bar whenever I hover below symbol. If I hover, it defaults to DDOG. If I click on method, it defaults automatically to mark. If I use the trigger, I want greater, right? Greater or equal to. And what was that? What was that? I'm going to just save this really quick. I'll come right back to it as I take a look at that high again. I always have to write these down. That high is 140 and I said 25, 140.25. Let's get over to the order again and come right back over here and put 140.25. Tab out. And then here, now we're coming to the option price. So we're saying, get me into this, not based on option price. Get me into this based on that stock price. When it breaks above that level, I want to go back in. And so what I want to do here is, hey, I don't know what the option price is going to be when 140.25 hits. And because of that, I'm going to just be an aggressive buyer and say, buy the ask. 0, 0 is what you want here. Buy the ask. And we're going to leave this till good till cancel. maybe this doesn't happen today. If it doesn't happen today, no big deal. But if it happens on Monday, maybe I might want to get into that. I can reflect and look back at this at the end of the day to see if I still want to swing trade. Then I can go ahead and enter maybe a condition. By the way, on this side of the order form are conditions to cancel. So as an example, triggers in automation typically don't work when you have a gap. So this is where you would use this side of the screen and say, hey, even though I want to get into a long call at 140.25, if on Monday, as an example, we're at 142.25, it gapped way up, I may not want to get in that. I may want to say just cancel it if it's above, let's say 141 or 142. So that it doesn't gap up, open me really high, and then all of a sudden do a pullback. So that's where you would look at your chart, take a look at your support and resistance, and then identify, hey, if it breaks above this certain level, I don't think I want to be in that because it already ran too high. And now I need at least, a lower high, right? It's going to pull back. You know that. Do you want to be in it right when it pulls back? Nobody does. And so this is a way you can use the right side of your form here to actually get out of that trade before it triggers. I'm going to send that. I'm going to confirm and send. We got our trade in. We'll take a look at it at the end of the day and do some analysis. Hope you have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you next week.